Okay, good morning. Let's just see if anyone comes in and joins me today. Uh, Today, surprisingly, it's Valentine's Day, and I had no idea. Honestly, I completely forgot. Yeah, this time of course, it's the 14th of February here in Australia. Um, so yeah, completely forgot about it. So a bit of a shout out to my wife, my lovely wife, who's in Japan at the moment. But like actually talking about Valentine's Day, there are many, I suppose, of these holidays that are being corrupted by corporations and so on. Um, Japan, for example, actually has two, such days like Valentine's Day. So, like today in Japan is Valentine's Day, and same as Australia. But for them, on Valentine's Day, the women give men chocolates and flowers and presents and so on. Okay, usually chocolates. They're quite quite popular for girls to give the men chocolates on Valentine's Day in Japan. But then you have in March you have what's called White Day, and that's when it's more opposite, and that's when men give um, presents to the girls. And usually that'll entail like the usual thing for Valentine's Day. So like it would be flowers and jewelry or something like that. It's quite interesting, I guess. But it's a lot of these holidays, they're all just, I think, I mean, apart from the fact that I think it's pretty obvious that all of our holidays and our cultures have been somewhat corrupted. Like Christmas never used to be a big thing. Hey, Bacon Runner, how you doing? Good to see you. Christmas wasn't so much a big thing as Easter used to be, for example. But Coca-Cola came out with it was actually Coca-Cola came up with the theme of the the red suit and white trim, because it's Coca-Cola colors, right? That was like early 1900s. And so of course, advertising and movies and so on and so on. And that's what Christmas is today, I guess. I mean, it's always been a more a Jesus thing, of course, the birth of Christ and so on. But it's also very commercialized sort of stuff now. Um, like Valentine's Day is the same, and then you've got all these other ones. But I don't think that makes it any really less important, to be honest. So today, for example, we're talking about Valentine's Day. I don't think it's really any less important, really. Um, Except that I think we should celebrate Easter more, because we've lost that a lot in Australia. Oh, hello Sandy, how you doing? Good to see you. We don't actually celebrate Easter so much anymore, except for you get chocolate Easter eggs and rabbit shaped chocolates and hot cross buns and things like that, rather than what it's actually meant to be for. So the corporations have really taken away a lot of our culture. So it's a bit over commercialized, and I think there's a little bit too much of these sort of things happening. But I think that I don't think we're too difficult to actually to bring these things back into our culture and our lives. Japan, for example, I think is quite good in the fact that they still have all of their cultural sort of celebrations. They have festivals, and for different reasons. Every season has a different reason for a festival, and it's really cool. But they also incorporate this, like they've got Valentine's Day today. Next month they have White Day, which is for it's a vice versa thing. But they also celebrate. They don't celebrate Easter so much, but they do celebrate Christmas. they also celebrate and have fun with. I mean, they love costumes and stuff. They have Halloween as well, even though they have their own version. It's called Obon Week, right? And very much like, like Halloween was meant to, celebrate your ancestors, and when your ancestor spirits come to visit the house, you give them food for their journey home, sort of thing. That's what Halloween was about, right? And that's exactly what Obon Week is for in Japan, and exactly like the same in like the Day of the Dead for Mexico, and all these different cultures around the world have these same sort of holidays and so on, or celebrations. I just found that kind of interesting. But yeah, I think there are always it's a great thing for a culture to hold on to. Lainey, how you doing? Good to see you. George, good to see you, mate. You guys are welcome to join me if you want. The StreamYard link's up the top there. Anyone's welcome today. But yeah, I think it's interesting. Like the Japanese keep their own celebrations, but it also incorporate some of our sort of corporation sort of version of these holidays. But it's very cool. Yeah, so I'd like to see some of that come back to our culture. George, Lainey, how are you?
How you going?
Good to see you.
Yeah, nice to
Nice
meet
bath this morning.
Sorry?
Cold shower this morning.
Absolutely. And I did some star jumps as well.
Excellent. Very good way to warm up.
Yeah, I'm having a few problems with this arm and my legs with lymphedema. So I did a few jumps to get those lymph nodes going.
Yeah, that's good. Well, the cold will help with that. Will help with that as well. But that's good. That's excellent. Keep yourself moving. So.
He hasn't done it yet. He's still whimping out.
I'm still on the medium cold shower.
Medium rare.
DC,
just do it, mate.
DC, what time have you got there, mate?
It's 20 to 10 now in the morning.
Oh, 20. Okay, right. Yeah, I just had a bit of a discussion with Jeannie on Juliet's channel, and she said, DC's not until 10:30, so I don't know.
No, 9:30.
She's not on a different time zone for you, is she? New South Wales?
Yes, she is. She is. Okay. Like New South Wales has daylight savings. We don't have daylight savings up here.
Okay. That makes sense now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's stupid. It really, the whole thing is just ridiculous here at the moment. So, but you get that. There's not much we can do about that.
No, that's true.
So, what have you guys been doing?
Cooking.
You bought an ice bath yet?
No, I keep looking, but it's a bit cold over here.
Yeah, but that's kind of the idea, isn't it?
That's the idea, yeah.
Literally hasn't stopped raining for 2 months.
Well, yeah, about 2 months.
Wow.
So I could just stand outside, really.
Yeah, well, it's always kind of wet over there, though, isn't it? So, but that's not a bad thing. That's not so bad. It's kind of dry over here, but we've finally got a bit of rain yesterday and today, so it's good.
Well, some of ours.
Absolutely. Yeah, send it over here. Yeah, send it over here anytime. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, got a noisy cat with us.
I was talking to my mates down in SA today, actually, DC. They're not carnivore, but they're old friends of mine from a long time ago.
Okay.
It's nice to catch up with them on Messenger, so that was good.
Yeah. How are they getting on down there?
Oh, fine. There's Bridget, the girl, she came over in 2006 from SA, and she married a local and took him back with her. So they lived in Coober Pedy for a while, but they're down in Renmark now, I think. I'm fairly sure they're in Renmark anyway, where they come from. So they've gone back home, so to speak.
Coober Pedy is quite famous for underground homes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. They had an underground home when they were there, actually. Yeah.
Lived in a cave.
Yeah. And it's opal mining as well, of course. That's what
opal mining, and it's the soil is so solid. Okay, you can just pretty much tunnel your way around and build your house as big as you want, really, and keep digging.
Yeah, they had a cave basically. That's what they lived in. It was unusual.
A pretty good way to do it. You know, it's too hot to live above ground there.
Yeah, they met at our house, didn't they? Because Joel was staying with us, and we all went to a wedding, and Bridge and Joel disappeared, and then we found them in bed in our house.
And they all lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
What is it about weddings?
Just it sets the mood. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Jonathan, how you doing, man? Just popping and say hi. Back to sleep. Fair enough, mate. Get to sleep. Yeah, good to see you.
Hi, Jonathan.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Coober Pedy is a pretty cool place, actually. I don't know. Have you guys ever been to Australia?
No, never have actually. There's one place we've never been. My brother did the Grand Tour of Australia back in '93. He actually went through to Coober Pedy and got a lift off the Coca-Cola driver down to Kingston on the Murray, where he did a bit of fruit picking and that sort of thing. One of his favourite memories is a Mental as Anything concert. So I know that I know you know Mental as Anything, because when he did the Aussie Carnival connection back along, they got featured one time, I think. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, use some of their questions.
Yeah.
Hey, Josephine. Howdy.
Start feeding everybody.
My brother was sort of doing the fruit picking on the black market, and he got deported when he was actually trying to fly out of the country. He got told, how's he deported place? Right, you're deported, mate. So yeah, it wasn't exactly a dramatic deportation. He was actually trying to get home at the time. So that was 3 years ago now. So I'm not sure whether he still is, but I don't think he'll be going back.
What time is it? No. It's 11:45 at night here, so we're both sat in lovely tops, but we both got our pajamas on.
Well, it's quite late, so I can understand that. You guys have been burning the candles at both ends.
No, good God, yeah. So I've been working. Now I'm in Australia. I've been working in 3 different time zones for the last few months. So it's crazy.
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
I'll just go to bed.
Yeah.
I was talking to my new friend Sue from Victoria earlier on, DC. She's talking about coming over to Britain for the meetup in June. So really looking forward to that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Joe, I am glowing. I am absolutely fine. I am getting on George's nerves because I'm so bouncy.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? So that's good.
I don't think he quite knows what to do with me.
That's good. So I mean, you're still quite new to the cold, though, Lainey, but you're finding it okay. Your adjustment wasn't too difficult.
No. Once I got used to it, I'm fine. I have a cold shower every single morning. Well, I have a hot shower, wash my hair and everything, and then I whack it onto cold.
Excellent. That's good. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. I was thinking to George earlier, it's a good job we've got no neighbours facing us, because they would have wondered what the hell was going on in my bedroom this morning. Because I've gone in there and I'm now star jumping around, dancing around, going, come on, lymph nodes, get going.
Oh, that's good.
They might have dialed 999 at some point if they could have seen me.
Yeah. It's surprisingly quick how quickly you adjust to the cold, though, isn't it?
Jojo?
Once you just jump in and do it,
yeah.
I think it's 80% mental. Like it's good for you. Once you know it's good for you, then it's very easy for you to just jump in and do it.
Yeah. This actually marks the 20th anniversary of the last swim I went for in the Atlantic Ocean. Because I was kind of based in the Mediterranean quite a lot, and I got used to the fairly warm seas. I went for a swim off the British coast in 2006, and I swore I'd never go back in again. So
he went in a man and he came out a boy.
Yeah, right. The thing was, I was going skin diving, so I had all my gear on. So when I actually hit the water, I didn't feel I could just back out again because.
There was other people
on the beach, so I had to go in make the best of it for about 5 minutes, then come back out, and I was blue. And that was the last time ever I set foot in the Atlantic Ocean. I swore I'd never do it again.
Let me see. Hang on. I've just got George looks happy. Love seeing you happy smile. That's good.
Yeah, I am. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, Barbara's here.
Hey, Bob. How you doing, Bob? Yes,
Hi, Barbara.
that is a cup. Yes, that is a copper cup. Just copper cup.
Yeah. I've got soft, warm kitty, little ball of fur, happy kitty.
Yeah. Does George look younger?
No.
I look younger than I did. I look younger than I did 4 years ago. Yeah, that's for sure.
Jojo, you need to put some glasses on.
Lainey actually discovered some great before photographs again today from 2013 and 2018. And yeah, they're very hard to believe, to say the least.
Yeah, it's like that, isn't it? When you I don't know, whenever it doesn't matter what sort of journey you're on, but you always look back a few years ago and you think, wow, it's kind of like, it feels like a different lifetime, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Look at Fatty.
Oh, wow, that's pretty big.
Yeah, pretty big. It's true.
Yeah.
Barbara's a bit worried about it. She's saying it's past our bedtime. Yes, it is, Barbara. And so
yeah,
Yeah, wow.
Playing with prawns.
Yeah, exactly. Playing prawn puppets with their heads. I was just going to say to Barbara, apologies if we don't turn up in the morning, but it's going to be very late tonight. So, yeah, we can't make Australia and Ohio within the space of a couple of hours. So we might make it. I might make it if I wake up, though. You never know.
Yeah.
Wake up for an old man's comfort.
Don't let the old in. Don't let the old in.
It'll be there, Mark. Be there.
Yeah, the most of the body's right. But yeah, I'm back to my 18-year-old physique, but unfortunately the knees aren't working so good no more, and I've got the hernia, and I do have the old man's bladder. Needs to sort of attend to it every couple of hours at night. But there we go. You can't have it all though, DC, can you?
No, that's right. I mean, you can only do so much, mate, and but it does make it. The health change that you've had though has made everything a lot easier to deal with, though, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was. It's not just physical change; it's a mental change. I was miserable, really miserable, and angry, and I was just horrible, really. And I was existing. I wasn't living. I was existing. I was making a living at doing just an ordinary security guard job, just surviving 12-hour shifts, and always fighting, trying not to fall asleep. Yeah. And then as I used to patrol, but towards the end of that, I found it very hard to actually just walk around the woodland that I was supposed to be patrolling. And I couldn't understand what was happening to me because I was always super fit. Yeah. And then I left there, and I went into construction. And then it was whilst I was in construction that I really, things went so downhill so far that I eventually managed to get a doctor's appointment. And that was when I got on. That was March the 1st of 22. That was when I got the diagnosis of morbid obesity, very high triglycerides, and type 2 diabetes. And that was the time that my life changed, because the doctor issued me with prescriptions, stared at me, looked at me with real contempt. I could see that she thought I was just a fat waster and that I was to blame. I was lucky. Nurse Kathy Moran grabbed me and sat me down, looked at me kindly and said, "What do you eat?" As Barbara knows the story because she's written a song about it. And I said, well, pasta, bread, potatoes, meat, all the stuff that you're supposed to eat. What I was doing is I was filling up on carbs because that was the cheapest way of getting a full belly. And of course, it doesn't matter where your calories come from, because a calorie is a calorie, as we know. And good old Nurse Kathy, darling Nurse Kathy, my beloved Nurse Kathy, looked me in the eye and said 4 words: all carbs are sugar. And that was the moment I didn't quite understand it at first. I said, "What, even the savory ones, the ones that don't taste of sugar?" She said, "Yes." all carbohydrates turn to glucose in your bloodstream, which is what is causing you type 2 diabetes. Now, why didn't that doctor, I had 2 prescriptions literally in my hand, metformin and statins. And why didn't that doctor ask me what I ate? Why didn't that doctor analyze my diet and tell me all carbs are sugar? It took a nurse to do it.
Because they don't know. Yeah.
No,
they don't know.
I went home and I didn't immediately throw away the prescriptions, but I put them on the kitchen table and I started research. And I started researching Professor Roy Taylor, who I knew was a reversing type 2 diabetes expert. Didn't like his approach, which was 800 calorie protein shakes for 6 weeks. So I thought, hang on a second, it's one of those that when you come off them, you're going to, the benefits go. So, but thankfully I discovered low carb, and that was it. And then I didn't understand carnivore, or I didn't know about YouTube for several months afterwards, but I managed to find my way through a gradual elimination process, which was incredibly successful. 14 pounds in the first 30 days, 56 pounds in the first 5 months. Go back to the doctor again and ask for a second set of bloods because I'd lost 56 pounds. And on August the 4th of 2022, remember I was diagnosed on March the 1st, 2022. And I had the second set of bloods. I was told that on August the 22nd at 2 p.m., I would receive a standard phone call from a nurse. Nurse Kathy had gone by this time. It was a chap called Richard. However, August the 9th, my phone rang unexpectedly, and it was the medical centre. And I answered it, and she said, hi, this is Sandy, the head diabetes nurse at the clinic. She said, I need to talk to you. I said, well, why? What's going on? She said, I said, I need to talk to you urgently. I said, what's gone wrong? Should I be worried? She said, no, absolutely not. She said, quite the opposite. She said, I just need to know what you've done. She said, you've reversed type 2 diabetes. You've lost 56 pounds. What have you done? And she said, not only have you reversed type 2 diabetes, but you're 6 points, British points below pre-diabetic. She said, this is just unheard of. So I said, low carb. And she said, oh, okay. It wasn't anti-low carb, which was good. She just didn't, nobody else, she was in fact pro-low carb. It's just nobody, they're not allowed to tell you to go low carb. And nobody else before had gone away, researched it, and done what I'd done. And so she was very impressed. And my triglycerides were, my HDL to triglycerides ratio was very good as well. So she was really impressed. She said, oh, don't worry. She said, now that I've dealt with this myself personally, then Richard won't be giving you a call on August the 22nd. Anyway, August the 22nd came and the phone went at 2 o'clock. He said, George, it's Richard. He said, I'm not supposed to be doing this because Sandy's dealt with it. He said, but I just need to know what you've done. So my story went around the nurses' station like wildfire. Now, the doctors must have been really pleased, right, DC? Not one doctor has spoken to me. Not one single doctor has spoken to me about metabolic health since that day. So here we go. I cost some money at the end of the day, don't I? Because those 2 prescriptions that would have got them money, they ended up in the bin. So I'm not very popular to doctors for that reason.
No, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like there's no incentive for doctors either. It's not just big pharma, but there's no incentive for doctors to make their patients healthy because they need return customers as well, Plus they get, incentivized by how many scripts they give people and so on as well. Yeah. So there's really just no incentive for them, is there?
No, exactly. And Sandy's saying the same thing, that she did not know about all carbs being sugar until she found carnivore. So that's the problem. That's right. There isn't the education. The education is not out there because I always assumed. I mean, I wasn't eating cakes or much in the way of chocolate.
Do you like loads of chocolate?
Yeah, I suppose actually it's true. But I was eating, but what did the damage? I mean, the chocolate was a kind of a treat every day. But what did the damage was the pure amount of bread and pasta and rice I was eating. I mean, I wasn't just eating, I was eating spaghetti bolognese, so there was always meat with it, chili con carne, chicken supreme on rice, but the fillet was always carbohydrates.
Yeah.
You know, I've never had a problem eating meat. I've always loved eating meat, but I've always had this mentality that you fill up on carbs, or you fill up on rice, bread, potatoes, noodles, etc., and your meat is kind of the topping, like the icing on the cake. But of course, nowadays it is the one and only thing that goes on my plate. And if I need a filler, well, stick another steak on it. It's as simple as that, or a nice side of kidneys and liver, or heart, or bacon. Yeah. Anything, you know, that's
like all those starchy carbs and everything. I mean, they're all man-made sort of bread foods like potatoes and all that sort of stuff. These are things that we all made just basically because we were running out of other food. And it's really for the peasants. It's just peasant food.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what
that's why originally the idea of being peasant food, I think, was in Egypt, wasn't it? Because they had the bread there, and if you look at, I mean, they idealize their figures for the pharaohs, but if you look at the honest paintings, a lot of them had I can't remember the technical name for man boobs, and a lot of them had big bellies as well. So clearly it was a problem in ancient Egypt where the bread first came, sort of kicked in. So it was
exactly right. If you ever look at what they did there environmentally as well, you know, they weren't deserts around the pyramids and the cities and so on. They were all forest until they cleared them for crops, you know. So that's what happens. And just want to thank Josephine. Thank you very much for the super sticker. Very much appreciated, always. Yeah. And hello, Annabella. And let me see.
Hi, Annabelle.
Yeah.
Hi, Terry.
Yeah, Terry here.
Friday night, Georgie sleeps in. Friday night in America, so Friday.
Terry knows my schedule better than I do, to be honest with
you. That's a bit of a worry. She's stalking you.
Oh, George enjoys it.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Yeah. No, I mean, don't ever expect your doctor to give you any kind of nutritional or health advice that's actually going to keep you off medications, because they're just not going to do it. Most of them, they don't know anything about nutrition. For one, they don't even study any nutrition throughout their whole career, you know, in school. But basically all they're pretty much trained to do is, you know, match your condition with a medication, and that's it. You know? They're just pharmaceutical salesmen.
Did you see Coach Stephen's interview with David Unwin from yesterday, DC?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's well worth watching, because basically David Unwin, as you probably know, is our best doctor in the UK, and he confirmed exactly what you said, that basically they are trained the only tool that they are trained in is pharmaceuticals. And as he said, basically, if you train carpenter, you only use the lathe and the hammer and that, don't you? You don't. So they purely have the blinkers on, and it took.
Oh, absolutely.
It actually took a patient of his to put him right, because he didn't recognise her when she walked in, and he told her to get out because he wasn't expecting her, and she gave him a piece of her mind. And basically he went away, researched it, and I understand from yesterday that his latest success story of reversing type 2 diabetes drug-free was number 157 since he saw the light. So that's 157 patients reverse type 2 diabetes drug-free, thanks to Dr. David Unwin. And yet, of course, he is getting a lot of criticism. He's getting a lot of pushback from this. As he said, the more senior you get, the more invested you are in the lie, in your own reputation. He said, senior people will not accept the fact that they've been teaching a lie all these years, because it would make them look stupid, which they are. But they are.
But, I mean, there's a number of reasons for that, though, too. Like, I mean, especially when they're the more senior doctors, or the higher, you know, or the ones with the higher regard and so on, they have a lot on the line too. They can't come out and admit, okay, I've been wrong for the last 30 years or so. So, you know, imagine how many lawsuits they might be opening up to as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. Right. Yeah.
So then you've got the medical establishment itself. Well, doesn't matter how big their name is, they will pretty much just disown them. So they do have a lot on the line, but the problem is, if you don't make a change, nothing will change. You know?
Exactly.
If you don't stand up if you don't find out what's really going on and do something about it, it just can't be allowed to continue. You know, we can't continue to keep making the same mistakes and expecting a different result. You know?
No, it's the definition of insanity for Albert Einstein.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a good story about this actually, because last year, well, in fact, in 2024, in June of 24, I went to a Veterans Day, and I met a nurse there who engaged me in conversation. I told her she was very good, a lady called Terry, and I engaged her in conversation, told her my full story. We talked for about half an hour. And that's November. That was in June. In November, I got an invitation to a conference for it was about the veterans' health and welfare. And I turned up on that day and discovered that I was the only non-health professional that actually got invited that day. And I said, Terry, am I supposed to be here? So everybody else is either a doctor or a nurse or a carer. And she said, yes, George. She said, I just felt you had a good story to tell. So I thought I'd get you some FaceTime with some medical professionals. So basically she was steering it, if you know what I mean. She knew that I was not afraid to talk, and I was there to cause mischief. I could cause mischief. And indeed, I found myself sat next to an excellent doctor, ex-Navy doctor. He was a nice guy, genuine nice guy. I'm ex-Army, so we had a bit in common. And I showed him my before and after photographs, the famous ones. These, I always show these at this stage. The before and after photographs, which are fairly powerful. He said, Ozempic? I said, no, carnivore. He said, what do you mean? I said, I don't eat any plants or anything that comes from a plant. I eat only meat. But what are you talking about? I said, have you ever heard of Ansel Keys? He said, no. So I gave him the history of the disaster. I gave him the John Goodkin, Pure White and Deadly, Ansel Keys, Time Magazine, John Harvey Kellogg. I gave him the full treatment. I said, doctor, whose name was Nick. Nick, I said, go away and spread the word. He said, I can't do anything with this, George. He said, I'll be struck off if I do. I said, and actually the words I used to him were, you are okay, so you are contractually obliged to perpetrate the lie. He couldn't deny it. He just said, I can't do anything with this. And he shrugged his shoulders, looked really sheepish, and just disengaged me as quick as he could. He couldn't deny it because of those photographs. And also my blood tests were very good as well. But he would not accept it because he knew that if he actually broke ranks, he would basically lose his comfortable lifestyle. He's a nice guy, and I could tell he was torn. But at the end of the day, greed and avarice and lack of testicles won, basically. No backbone.
Hang on a second, mate. Yeah, keep going.
No worries, mate. I said, well, I'm talking to an empty chair now. There we go. Anyway, Lenny, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Keep talking, I'll go to bed.
Sounds like DC's got a visitor. Maybe I wonder if that's FedEx. I bet it's FedEx or whatever the equivalent. No, it probably is FedEx. I heard in Australia.
It's probably a food delivery and crisps and chocolate.
Oh, the pizza delivery.
Pizza. You got pizza?
Was that the pizza delivery, DC?
No. It's just my old man's going to Brisbane. They're going to the Royal Military Tattoo tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I also had that with the doctor, didn't I? When I started losing a lot of weight, a hell of a lot of weight before I was diagnosed, I ended up with a new doctor. And he actually told me there was something seriously wrong. And he was the one that started the investigations into what was going on, because I'd lost about 3 stone then, hadn't I?
Yeah.
And he pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. Knew there was something wrong, was sending me for these scans and nothing was showing up in that. And then he actually said to me, there is definitely something going on in your body and we need to find out what. I got really upset, obviously. spoke to the lady on reception, our doctors, and another doctor rang me, and he said, Lane, he said, I'll eat my hat if there's anything wrong with you. You're absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with you. And I went, okay, and I believed him. But then this young doctor that was pushing for me, he got fired. They actually fired him. And then about 6 months later, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, 5 months it was, April to September.
Yeah. But he knew there was something wrong and they just wouldn't listen to him. And like I said, they fired him for pushing me through all the tests. So
it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot understand or tolerate the reverence with which the National Health Service is held in this country. I worked on the inside during COVID. Both myself and Lainey were working security in a hospital, and I've got to say that there are some very good people in there. A&E were magnificent; they really were. They worked very hard, but up in the wards, the arrogance, the laziness. I mean, Lainey actually had to. She was, because we had one violent dementia patient. Lainey was keeping an eye on him. You tell the story, Lainey. John, remember John? Remember the tray, the breakfast tray?
What, were I sat on the floor with him?
No, when you were sat outside and nobody came to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tell the story.
Oh yeah, that was a couple of weeks after I started, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Because I worked in care as well. Look, and I had to keep an eye on this bloke that had severe dementia, etc. They took his breakfast in. Nobody took him to the toilet. Nobody did anything. They left him in there, and I sat outside for a couple of hours. And then they came with a cup of tea for him. And I said, "Excuse me," I said, "Is anybody going to take away anything that's in there and get him up and take him to the toilet and shower him?" "Oh, well, he'll be all right with a cup of tea." I said, "No, he needs to have a shower. I can see he's soaking wet. He's covered in food because he was incapable of actually feeding himself, and they just shoved this food on him." I was absolutely furious, wasn't I?
Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm just like, no, somebody get some stuff. I said, I'm going to don a plastic apron and some gloves because I'm fully qualified to do it, and I will take him into the shower and give him a shower. I said, because it was disgusting how they treated people.
It really is. It's disgusting. I mean, this is the thing. When you go into hospitals, you're really risking your life. You know, we have this indoctrination where we believe, you know, these doctors are infallible and these nurses and these are all healthcare professionals, and there's nothing more there's nothing professional about most of them. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some good people in there, and there always are. There's you know, most of them are fairly good, but you know, they're still just people, and we expect them to be the best of humanity, but they're not. Yeah, exactly.
I've got a couple of horror stories as well. I'll tell you one in a second, DC. But one thing I will say about the A&E staff, they were very, very good. I actually got a criminal compensation because I was assaulted by somebody who was out of his head on spice, and he tried to take my head off with a metal footstool. And basically, he had me, and behind me, Dr. Caroline and Nurse Laura, he cut us off from the exit, and I knew that he was coming for us, and he had this metal stool and he was going to have a swing at me. So I took a step back and deliberately looked scared, and this sort of horrible grin came across his face, and the idiot took a swing, but of course it was slow. So I just ducked underneath it, took the blow on my shoulder, and I'm an ex-rugby player, and he ended up face planted on a mattress on the floor, where I had to wait and hold him in position until the police came. And I remember Dr. Caroline came out. George, are you hurt? Is what she said. Only my feelings, Dr. Caroline. So yeah, that was good. But I actually quit at short notice from that job because I was up on a children's ward, Ward 10 it was, and there was a troublesome teenager. So I put on a show, and he was like threatening to try and break out. So I filled the doorway, and I was big at that time. I was 21 stone, in other words, 290 pounds. So I filled the doorway, and I said, "Don't worry, he won't get past me." And I did it. I did it as if I was, you know, trying to be the hard man sort of thing. And the nursing sister behind my back, not realizing, she obviously judged a book by its cover, thought I was some sort of thick ape. And she actually did the impression of a gorilla and looking at me. And she didn't realize what she was dealing with. And I turned around and I said, was that supposed to be me? No, nothing, no offense. But it was. She was implying that because I was working security and was a big bloke who put on the act of, no, don't worry, you won't get past me. She thought I was a gorilla. So I thought, how dare you? And I quit the next morning. I walked out the next morning with no notice. And when they came after me, I said, no, I'm not going back there. And I told them exactly what they'd done. Of course, nothing was done because she's far too important. And I was only a security guard. So, but that's, so I will not wear this myth, basically, that all nurses are angels led by bad managers, because we had some very, very bad experience with nurses.
They all went to sleep.
They all went to sleep,
On the ward, because I'm fully trained in dementia and that, they always called me up, wasn't it? It was always me, or you sent me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're very good at dealing with the dementia patients.
And you go up, and there's like 8 of them, and they're all asleep. One person awake, just like, oh, can you go in there and sort him out?
Yeah, we got a lot of horror stories, you see, but we better not bang on about it, because otherwise the people are going to get bored of it. But it's not. They're not.
No, I mean, anyone that's spent some time in the hospital, you're going to come out with some horror stories. I mean, they're shocking. They're really. I mean, that's why I keep telling people, stay out of hospitals.
Yeah, I won't stay in. I always discharge myself. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, one thing I can say though is that it was during obviously the thing of 2020, and we met a lot of the local drug addicts, and some of them were amazing characters. They really were really nice people. You have to be wary of them, of course, because you never knew whether off their face or not. But we actually made some sort of friendships with these people. It was because they were what they called high intensity users, and they were there virtually every day, trying to get their gabapentin and their prescriptions. And frequent flyers was the nickname that was given to them, but high intensity users. And to be perfectly honest, there was more. I made a better sort of understanding with some of the cocaine and the heroin users than I did with the nurses. And we had one very sad one. There was a girl who had a lot of mental problems, and she kept on trying to escape, and she kept on succeeding in escaping. And she was a very, very good runner. And there used to be this mad chase around town for this girl. And she tried to escape from her room one night on the mental health ward. And unfortunately, as she climbed out the window, her head was out the window, and the window sash came down, and it killed her. And I was very sadly I was holding the door open for the stretcher, the gurney, as she came in, and the hospital porter stood next to me. A girl I got on, she said, "George, no, she's gone," because obviously she'd seen a lot of death before, much more than me. And she said, "No, she's gone." It was really weird, because I mean, the thing is that she was, I didn't really particularly have a very strong relationship with this girl, but it was just it really affected me quite badly. It just because
it's still hard to deal with, though.
Hard to think. Because the thing is, I've been involved. I mean, the thing, she headbutted me. She tried to get past me on several occasions. One time, she gave me the slip, and the nurse looked at me as if I was supposed to try and catch her, but she was built like a gazelle, and she moved like a gazelle. I just shrugged my shoulder, and then in the end, it was the police who had to track her down. But yeah, we had some pretty dramatic times there, to say the least. And I probably built a better relationship with some of the very strange patients than what I did with the staff themselves. But anyway, it all came to an end. I went back to construction, and here I am now. So there we are.
Yeah. I mean, having said that, I mean, there's quite a heavy toll on, like on doctors and nurses as well. Like you said, like dealing with so much death, and so many different conditions. And so I can understand how tough the job is. It is a very thankless job. But people should know, what kind of conditions they're getting into as well. Some people just should not be in that position.
No, it's true. But let's take it a stage further, DC. If people were eating correctly, so their minds were correct and their bodies were correct, they wouldn't be half that pressure on the on the doctors and nurses anyway, would they? So
That's
they are
right.
kind of architects of their own downfall on account of the fact they don't tell the truth about.
Well, they're complicit. They're complicit in the lie.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. They're complicit, and a lot of it just comes down to their sheer laziness to actually investigate or actually learn anything outside of school. So.
We're getting a bit of heckling from the sidelines here, DC. Madam Secretary,
we'll just check out some of
Madam
these.
Secretary, we are very honoured to have you join us this evening.
Yes, no, a lot. Now sometimes I feel so
actually,
angry,
actually, DC, I've got to be. I've actually got to acknowledge Juliet, because she's effectively become the USA ambassador to the UK. She does an awful lot of work over here, and she's got quite a following now, but she's earned it. And she is the one who is coming over to the Great British Meetup in June, representing the coach. Kilts is coming over himself, but it's Juliet who is making the effort to come over. Hopefully we'll get some more people. But anyway, Juliet, so yeah, publicly, thank you for everything that you do to help us sort it out.
That's good.
Did you find
going to read
go on.
Just going to catch up on some of these comments. Hang on a sec. Okay, so yes, I know a lot. Sometimes I feel so angry, but I do not blame family or my mama gets upset and can't stop saying, sorry, mama, you had no clue. Same with grandma. Yeah, she had no clue. I blame the system. Yeah, that's right. I mean, the thing is, like, this system, you know, we've had generations brought up in this system, right? So you can't really say, I mean, we kind of put a bit of blame. I suppose there is some blame we can put onto these people for not, you know, finding out or learning more, but you also understand the fact that they've been indoctrinated into this system, you know, and they grew up with it. They spent their whole life in it. So, you know, it is what it is. And the only thing we can be thankful for now is that people are waking up to this system, you know.
Yeah. Just remember what I said, though, DC. I asked this doctor, had he heard of Ansel Keys? No, he hadn't. So, of course, it goes without saying, he'd never heard of the Seven Nations study. So he was in a position of ignorance. But it's unforgivable that he was in that position. They don't do any research for themselves. They just accept what they are fed, spoon-fed at university. Exactly. And they think that's it. They never.
And that's why I don't see them as being professional people, because, I mean, you know, the difference between, like, say, a plumber, for example, who does his best to always keep up with the times, keep up with technology, keep up with different things, is more professional than a doctor that just come out of school and just doesn't care about finding out new information or finding other ways to do things. They just follow the letter, you know, like just follow what they're told. And the last, you know, people should have realized that at least in the last 5 years or so, last 6 years, that they don't care. They don't investigate this stuff. They don't care what's in these drugs. They're told to administer these drugs, and that's what they do. That's it, you know. And that should be a bloody scary wake-up call for everyone.
I mean, if he hadn't heard of Ansel Keys, I don't think he would have ever heard of the Flexner Report of 1911 and J.D. Rockefeller's role in creating the pharmaceutical.
Right.
There's no point in trying to talk to these idiots about it, because they won't have done the research. They won't have heard of the Flexner Report. They won't have heard. They would have heard of J.D. Rockefeller as a fuel or fossil fuel baron. Yeah, philanthropist, exactly right. But again, they would never have heard. They would never have heard of his role in allopathic medicine and how he shut down all the functional medicine and the homeopathic was it? I think he basically made it impossible to practice anything other than pharmaceutical medicine, because he realized that the pharmaceuticals would be made from his oils. So
exactly.
But you can't talk to a doctor about that, because I haven't got a degree. Therefore, he look down his nose at me and think I was an idiot. The fact that I've done thousands and thousands more hours of research than they have, and I've got various different languages and was a trained analyst in the British Army, but I haven't got a BA, have I? Or a BSc. Therefore, I can't be in that.
It's not just that. It's also the fact that, you know, like if you're not a white coat, or if you're not, or if they didn't learn it, then, you know, then it's not there. It's not true, because, you know, surely they would be in medical school, you know.
Yeah.
But they just don't get it. They don't get it at all.
Yeah.
Annabella had a telehealth doctor appointment yesterday, and she told him that she doesn't need her meds anymore. That's good. Yeah. I'm sure the doctor was a little bit surprised about that. Yeah.
Just had his bath with his ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
was it a cold bath? Was it an ice bath? And did you have your rubber duckies with you?
Of course he had his.
Oh, sorry, DC. I've got to do this now that Rick's here. I've got to give him a fly pass, because I always give him a fly pass.
Fair enough. Yeah. What did the doc say after that as well? He said nothing. Yeah. They go very quiet after you tell them they don't need those meds anymore. Yeah. I remember years ago when I told my my oncologist, you know, I don't need any more meds. I don't need anything for reflux or anything. It's like, how did you stop reflux? How did you stop this? And I'm like, well, I just stopped eating carbs. You know, like that was it. It was very simple. And so, oh, okay.
Oh, another retired doctor I spoke with as well, who I knew vaguely. And I told him my story. He said, that's amazing. I said, well, not really. I just gave up. He said, yeah, but nobody else. He said that takes incredible discipline, which none of my patients have ever shown the tendency to have. So he was sort of blaming us for, he was sort of suggesting that you have to manage type 2 diabetes because the patients don't have the discipline to actually turn it around for themselves. But I just wonder whether he actually did tell anybody that all carbs are sugar, or whether he just assumed that nobody had the discipline to do it. I don't know, but
yeah, but I mean, both sides of the coin there. But because because they think that way, like they think that everyone's too stupid to know or to stick to a regime, you know. And I mean, sure, there are people like that. There are people that don't want to make lifestyle habit or make lifestyle changes. They want the magic pill, the silver bullet, you know. And there's plenty of people out there that want to do that, especially when you're talking about obesity, for example. But and I mean, like I saw it a lot too, like in the cancer wards, even today, it still is. People would rather just go through that kind of treatment than make any kind of lifestyle changes. You know, like seriously, like people, you know, they sit there eating junk food all day while they're getting chemotherapy drugs pumped through them. Others will actually take the drug, the bags of treatment outside with them while they have a cigarette and things like that, you know. So there are people like that, but that doesn't mean that doctors should just take away the choices just because they don't think they're smart enough to, you know, to make those changes. They should at least have that knowledge or have that backup to advise people what they could be doing, you know. But the simple fact is they don't know shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, two stories here to just pick up on. One is that we, a couple of years ago, lost a member of our extended family about our age, hopeless type 2 diabetic, but refused to even consider giving up sugar. You know, the sugar was always around. There was candy bars on the nightstand and everything. One day he never woke up. Very, very sad. And Lainey, you know, you obviously you go down the Beacon Centre quite a lot. I don't know what the answer to this is, but do they have a sort of do they offer you anything in the way of
sandwiches, jellies, yogurts?
Yeah, it's unreal, isn't it?
That's what I was going to say just now. You know, when you're having chemo, it takes obviously hours, and they come around with the trolley, and there's basically a selection of cheese and biscuits, all different sandwiches, jellies, something custard, packets of biscuits, and a cup of apple juice, orange juice, cup of tea or a cup of coffee.
And then one of the favorites here is ginger ale, because they like to tell you that the ginger helps to settle your stomach while you're getting the chemo pumped through, and then there's it's the same thing. Like they even have like cookies and cakes and chocolates, all these packaged sort of junk food and sandwiches and crap. It's disgusting stuff. It really is. It really is.
Sandwich and take the ham out of it and just have a bit of the ham, or take my own.
Yeah, I see Schmook saying he would like a magic pill. Well, there's always a ribeye. That's pretty much it has been a magic pill for me. However, on a more serious note, then Dr. David Unwin was talking to Stephen about the GLP-1s, and he's very, very skeptical about them. And as he says, these people who said that they couldn't afford to buy their own CGMs because they're quite difficult to get hold of a prescription. They said, "Oh, we can't afford a CGM," but these are the same people who are now buying the GLP-1s from the open market for £200 English, 400 Australian dollars a month. So hang on a second. If they can afford GLP-1s, why couldn't they afford a CGM? It's a CGM is about 50 quid for a couple of weeks. So the CGM would have been at least half the price of the GLP-1 per month, but they weren't prepared to use it because that would have meant changing their lifestyle. And they're not prepared to change their lifestyle because the GLP-1 is the magic pill that Schmookcast was talking about. And I think he quoted the fact there's been 82 deaths in England, according to figures associated with the taking of GLP-1s, and yet people are still going hard at it. We know of a young lady who has basically ruined her health on GLP-1s. She won't admit it. She won't blame the GLP-1s. She was looking for any other excuse, to blame it upon.
Seriously, like in 100 years or so, people are going to be looking back on these ages as the stupid ages.
Oh,
mostly.
I think I already am DC, to be honest with you.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's, they just they don't want to admit that they were fooled. They don't want to admit that they made a mistake, because they think, you have to have all the answers all the time, sort of thing. And that's, if you don't know it, you don't know it. It's as simple as that. But you need to be able to jump off that wagon and fix it when you can, But they just, I don't know what it is. They got minds like a steel trap. Once it's closed, it's not going to open again.
Well, I mean, it was the same as with the flat earthers, wasn't it? Because remember, the earth was flat until Copernicus and Galileo discovered it wasn't. But they were heretics. What they were preaching was heresy. I think both of them did time in prison. Do you know what happened to them both? But I understand that both of them fell foul of the.
Both of them died in prison.
Yeah, so there we go. But it's the same thing. They dared to think outside the box, and there was heresy. And basically, what we're committing today is heresy, because we are, we are thinking
medical heresy. Yeah,
exactly.
It's medical heresy to be, to have a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh no, but it's unhealthy though, isn't it, DC? Because all that saturated fat and cholesterol, it must be unhealthy because the textbooks say so. But
that's right.
At the same time, go on Dave Mack's channel, 1,500 interviews of people who switch to high fat and who totally turn their lives around. But they don't count because there's no randomized control trial there. There's no systematic review. There's no meta whatever they call it, meta analysis. It's only testimonies. Testimonies can't be trusted.
No, that's right.
Can the science be trusted? What is science? Apart from the fact that it's born
right. This is the thing. They don't understand. They think that the science paper is like beyond reproach. Like it is absolutely perfect, and that is the high standard sort of thing. They don't realize that science is done by people, and people are just as, it doesn't matter if they're wearing a white coat or blue coat, they're just as stupid as each other, or just as corrupt.
Yeah, not only that, but science is done by people in white coats who've been paid a lot of money to get the result they've been told to get. That's exactly the point. Yeah, so
as we know, I keep saying, like doctors or scientists, all of them, they should all wear sponsors on their coats,
Yeah, exactly. It's very true.
It's like an athlete.
Because as we know, for every paper that gets published, there's probably about another 6 others that get buried because they didn't get the right results. A classic case of that was the Minnesota coroner experiment. That ended up in somebody's France, Ivan France's cellar.
The
No,
average so-called scientific paper only lasts a few years anyway, and then until it's retracted. You know, most of them get retracted, at least 90% of them. So, you know, it's crazy. Let's get some through some of these comments. Let's say, yep, I can understand. I spent 3 hours trying to get one of my clients help. If it was a home, I could have helped, but because if it was at home, I could have helped, but it was an aged care place. Yeah, I was not allowed to help. Yeah, I left rapidly as she's.
Is there a second part to this?
Maybe we'll have a look. Has not been helped.
Oh, she's not been helped.
She's not been helped. Yeah, I mean, again, you know, it's everything is run by people, and people have their flaws. You know, unfortunately we tend to think that people, because they have a white coat or something, or a stethoscope, even like these fake doctors, like these fake doctors on YouTube, right? They'll pose in a white coat with a stethoscope around their neck, even though they've never seen a patient in their life, and that instantly gives them this magic clickbait, like these morons that think that, you know, everything they say is true. You know,
are we talking about Dr. Grieger here by any chance, or maybe?
Yeah, Dr. Bubblehead. Yeah. Exactly. He's one of my pet hates, actually.
Yeah, well, I think he's everybody's pet. Well, I've got a couple, but he's definitely one of them. Yeah, I never watch him, but there we go.
So yeah, I hope you having a good day, Juliet. Oh boy, Carnival Power. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got myself and Juliet have an ongoing friendship, which involves lots of respect and that sort of thing, and love hearts and that sort of thing, and the occasional row as well, Juliet. But I thank you for forgiving me the other night.
Okay, so you guys have a bit of sparks going on, do you?
Well, yeah, because I mean we're working very closely together on all fronts, so inevitably, I made a gaffe the other night, but she did forgive me, so there we go.
Yeah, you got it, Juliet, because he never ever apologizes to me when he's wrong. He just stomps off the bed.
Fair enough.
Well, actually, it's called being diplomatic at the end of the day, and we are diplomats.
Well, that's it. When a man goes quiet, Laney, it's not because we are in retreat or anything. We just we know when to make a diplomatic withdrawal.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but he calls it most of the time.
Is it what is it? It's
for the sake of the relationship. For the sake of the relationship, sometimes it's best to say nothing.
If you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. I think is it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, hey, good to see you, Rick. There's a link at the top there if anyone wants to join us. You're welcome, of course. Of course.
Jump on, Rick, because I'm going to go and make myself a coffee.
He's getting over
on my own next time.
Are you not coming back then? Yeah, you go.
Yeah, I'll pop back.
Okay.
I'm going to have a coffee.
Yeah, no worries.
Sure.
Yeah.
Real one.
Nespresso, please. It'd be lovely. As long as Ali is not watching, which she's not.
There's no one here under it. Okay. I want a magic pill. Yeah, we all want that, don't we? We all want a magic pill. I mean, it would be great, wouldn't it? If there was like, if you could just take one pill and everything would be healthy again, everything would be great. But you know, the people that are making the pills, they just want you to have more side effects.
Yeah, exactly. So, but then that wouldn't differentiate between us and them, though, would it? Because actually, those of us who've got the discipline to think for ourselves and do it, you know, it's if everybody had the same, then lazy people would get it too, and that's not fair, DC. That just isn't fair. No, as Dr. Kilt said, hard ships make strong ships. So the fact that we've had to do it the hard way has probably made us stronger characters. You know, it's and it wouldn't seem fair if everybody got the same benefits, having not actually had to put the thousands of hours of research in, had to make the sacrifices, and you know, and actually taking responsibility. Because
exactly,
this is the problem. The difference between lions and sheep, as Dr. Kiltz will say, is that the sheep don't want to take responsibility for their own mistakes. They want to actually be told what to do, because then there is no self responsible. Well, what's the word I'm looking for? No accountability to self, I suppose.
That's right. Well, no responsibility means there's no accountability.
Yeah,
So there's always the victim, and they're never responsible themselves. They're never taking any responsibility for their actions, because it's always someone else's fault. They don't have to think. It's this way. They can sit back and complain. It's always the government's fault, right? Even though we let the government do what they do. And I mean, that's why we end up in a place like we are now, where like here in Australia, you can't say anything. Especially if you're a white guy, you can't say anything without being arrested. And it's a loony world. It really is an absolutely loony world at the moment. But you're right. Like sheep, they don't want to think for themselves. They follow the herd they'll follow the herd right off the cliff.
Yeah.
But at least they went with the group, so they're happy. It's crazy.
And we're the outliers because we didn't go with the group. Therefore, we're no longer socially acceptable.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather be socially unacceptable than one of the sheep, to be honest with you. I really would.
Oh, absolutely.
So the thing is, I found my tribe. My vibe has found my tribe, and my tribe is all over the world, from Queensland to Quebec, from LA to London. That's my tribe now, not necessarily the people I find immediately around me, and that's a sad fact.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
No, I'm the same, man. I'm the same.
That's the reason why I'm bringing my tribe over to Bridgewater in June, because I want my tribe around me, but the only way I'm going to get them is by organising a meet up and bringing them on over. So all welcome. Shall we say?
Fair enough.
Juliet's coming, Kilsey's coming, Angela, our great friend Angela Lero's coming. Juliet managed to back Chris Brandlin, the carnival lawyer, into a corner the other night, and he half made a promise to come as well, because he's running for Congress this year. And he says, I've got the primaries out of the way by that time. And he said, I won't be really serious. He said, I might well come over. So that was another brilliant big piece.
Sounds like it's going to be a pretty big meetup.
Yeah, it's going to be. And so my new friend Sue from Victoria, the farmer, she actually got hold of me on Messenger tonight and said she was planning to come over as well. So it looks like I might have a bit of Aussie representation of this one. It's true. It's going to be truly international, because we've already got our own South African over here, who is Louise. She's she's been in England for a long time now, but not just Louise, but she actually has her own network of South African lionesses over here. I think we had about half a dozen last year. The Kerrys and the Tercias of the world, real proper Afrikaans names. And I think she had about half. And we got the wonderful Pumi as well, who is Zimbabwean, I think. Yes, Zimbabwe. She's actually fairly active on YouTube. I'm a friend of hers on Facebook. She didn't come last year, but I think she's coming this year. So, we've got Zimbabwe, we've got South Africa. We're going to have Australia by the sounds of it, the United States.
Cool.
Not sure if we got New Zealand represented this year, but I don't know many New Zealand carnivals apart from Bart. Obviously, I don't think Bart's coming over, because
it's pretty hard to get Bart on a plane.
I know.
He hates planes for one, but I think quite busy over there, like the farm, and he's got some visitors staying with him at the moment too. So I'm
just trying to think though. So I mean, I know quite a lot of you guys, because basically Queensland seems to be carnivore central over there, because I found another Queenslander this morning. I can't remember what the name was now, but I think there's about I know about half a dozen Queenslanders now who are carnivore. But outside of that, you just got the odd one dotted around. You got Sue in Victoria, you got Jeannie in New South Wales, Larry Holt somewhere. I haven't actually tracked him. He's a mate of mine on Facebook. But in Queensland, there's Josh, there's yourself, there's Jojo, there's Brad, and a couple of others as well. I can't immediately remember, but about half a dozen, I think, in Queensland. That seems to be the main carnival state, even though it's so huge. I know, it's not like you can just meet up with each other.
We don't have any real events here, though. That's why. I mean, me and Josh made one last year, but we're hoping to have a bigger one here this year. But we'll still haven't sort of nutted that out yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. Have you heard from Primal Pete at all recently? Because he He was very active
Oh.
and then friends of yours, and then he just kind of disappeared because he found it all a bit stressful doing YouTube. Do you know if he's
No,
all
I
right?
haven't. No, once he stopped YouTube, I haven't heard from him since. So
Okay.
yeah, I think he's just. I mean, before he left YouTube though, he was just. I think he was just more happy to stick to his job and just be himself and do his, stick to his own thing, and that's fair enough.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know I'm not supposed to drink coffee, but can I be forgiven because that is my my coffee mug? Warning:
Was it?
Warning: I may start talking about meat at any time.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That was a Christmas
Make
present.
make a cup, and it's like there's a steak in every cup.
Yeah, exactly. That was a Christmas present from a friend of mine a couple of years ago who was already totally bored with me talking about meat all the time.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I definitely became a carnivore bore in the pub, but then I gave up drinking. I don't go to the pub so much anymore, so I don't get the chance to actually preach quite as much as I used to. So I'm too busy preaching on YouTube and on various other platforms, Facebook and that sort of thing.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, it keeps you pretty busy.
It does, yeah, very true.
Yeah. I'd like to be on an island for 3 months. I'm assuming. Oh my gosh, would be awesome. No L stuff, is it? L stuff? No phone. Oh, okay. No phone, no TV. Just beautiful days, building and gathering food. Yeah, water. Would never want to leave. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Actually, being on an island by yourself somewhere sometimes would be pretty cool. You'd miss everyone though. Well, can't have everything, I guess. Maybe if you bury the magic pills, then it will grow a beanstalk and stalk maybe, and you could get the golden goose. Yeah, that's what they all seem to promise, isn't it? They all promise the golden goose, don't they? Playing with Milton. Yeah, Milton's great.
Yeah.
Hey, Annabella, good to see you back. What's the magic pill you guys are speaking about? The magic pill. Everyone wants the magic pill from Big Pharma. Make life easier, You just swallow the pill and don't worry about health problems. But that never works out that way. They always promise the golden goose, but they pretty much give us the golden crap. There's the imagery health magic pill, the imaginary world peace magic pill. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. The magic pill for everything. I hope I could. I hope I could come. I could be brave. Yeah. You get the Josephine. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
You're out with the drive, George.
Yeah, Schmoocast just revoked my carnival card for the for the coffee and the back as well. No, that's a long time ago. Well, yeah, it's most of my life, but not since carnival, thankfully, not recently anyway. Yeah. So Brad's here.
Yeah. Morning, nerds. You all got nothing better to do on Valentine's Day? Me either. Yeah, I actually completely forgot about Valentine's Day. I was talking about that before actually. Like in Japan, it's Valentine's Day here today, the same as in Japan, but they have 2 days. So like Valentine's Day in Japan is about women giving presents to the men, like that, and they'll usually give them chocolates and that sort of thing. Something sweet. It's always going to be chocolate. Like if they give them cake, it's going to be chocolate cake or chocolate whatever. But then next month in March, you have White Day. And White Day is when the men give the presents to the women.
Oh, okay.
I find it quite interesting because, a lot of our culture, a lot of our celebrations in Western culture have been corrupted by corporations. Like, for example, we used to celebrate Easter more than we did Christmas. And Christmas was sort of pretty much taken over by corporations like Coca-Cola, who decided, who was the original theme for like the red and white suit for Santa Claus, right? Because it was the Coca-Cola colors.
Yep.
And that all started, very early 1900s. So, and then that sort of, the Easter sort of got taken away from us. We don't even celebrate Easter, in Australia anymore because it might offend, immigrants and so on. So like all you get now is like the chocolate Easter bunny and things like that. But it's, like Japan incorporates these other celebrations, like they have Valentine's Day like today, they have White Day next month, but they also celebrate Halloween. They love the costumes sort of stuff and dressing up for Halloween, and they love Christmas. They love doing the big Christmas decorations and everything, but they also have all of their celebrations as well. Like even though they have Halloween, they also have their Obon week, which is exactly the same principle as Halloween. Obon is about you put food out for your ancestors, the spirits that actually come to visit your house, and then you give them foods for the journey home, right? Same as the Day of the Dead for Mexico, and so many other cultures around the world do that. But I really like the fact that Japan finds, they like to celebrate these things that we've brought them, such as Valentine's and Christmas and so on. But they keep their cultural significance as well. They keep their cultural celebrations, and they have seasonal celebrations for pretty much for every season, and it's quite wonderful, really.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Anyway, don't get me started on Valentine's Day, because when I was growing up, it was nowhere near as commercial. And always nonsense about it being for married couples and that the husband's got to buy the wife flowers. When I was growing up, Valentine's Day was all about shy young people who wanted to make an approach to a member of the opposite sex. It had nothing to do with married couples, because married couples have got wedding anniversaries. It was all a Valentine's card was supposed to be a mystery card from a mystery admirer, and you had to guess who
married.
I got one in my life, by the way. I got one in my life at the age of 15. I'm very disappointed about that, actually.
Well, I mean, once you're married anyway, you've done the work. Why do we have to keep doing it?
Absolutely. I totally agree, DC.
He is so unromantic. Honestly, you all think he's an angel.
Well, hang on a second. I must have been romantic. I must have been romantic at some stage of my life, because
I actually don't mind that. I don't mind too much that these things are commercialized somewhat, but what I do mind is that it's taken, like, because certain things have been commercialized so much, other things have been taken out of the culture. So like I was talking about Easter, for example. We don't celebrate Easter anymore, and it's all about chocolate eggs and chocolate bunnies and stuff like that. I think, like, to keep the essence of those celebrations is more important than the celebration, like, all the other crap that comes with it, the commercial crap. But that, having said that, though, it's still fun to have these days. It's still fun to have these celebrations, and I think we need more of them. Like, we need more celebrations, actually celebrating our culture, but also celebrating our other half as well,
Yes.
I mean, I know Valentine's is very commercialized and so on, but honestly, like, it also comes down to the fact that I don't think we should celebrate just once a year. Like, my wife is everything to me. She's, I'm so grateful for every day that I get to see her, and that to me is more important than any sort of one celebration a year sort of thing. But I think we can still embrace these holidays, or these commercial, even though they're very commercialized, doesn't mean we can't have fun with it.
It's true, but I don't think
there should be expectations either.
No, but when it comes to hijacking holidays, the Christian church are the most guilty of all, because what they did is that let's face it, Jesus was born during a census by the Roman Empire, and they expected people to move around the country. They would not have done that in the middle of December. They would have done it in the longest days of the year, May or June. What in fact Christmas is is Yule. It's the ancient midwinter festival. So the Christians thought, how can we get people? How can we get people to adopt Christianity? I know what. We'll impose ourselves on the Yule festival and call it Christmas. And basically, as you probably know this, and that Easter is in fact an old pagan ritual, because the Easter bunny is in fact a hare, which is when the mating season. But the name Easter comes from the old goddess of fertility, Aster, which is also where we get estrogen from, where it's the same basic root. So once again, it's an old fertility rite that the Christians have decided, how can we actually sort of so they impose the crucifixion of Jesus on the spring festival of fertility. So they basically hijacked both the old winter festival of Yule and the celebration of Aster, the goddess of fertility. So I mean, it's fair enough. Yeah, but it's good to celebrate these things, but wrong time of the year, folks. Come on, common sense. While shepherds watch their flocks by night, do you honestly believe that they would have been on the mountainside?
This is the thing. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing too. Like in Europe, like Easter was, like it was the beginning of spring too. So it's like, I mean, the whole fertility thing was about new life, and the spring of new life, right? Whereas, having Easter here in Australia it's autumn. It's like coming into winter. So it doesn't make any sense at all,
No, exactly. And I understand Santa Claus has a great deal of problem with his sleigh in Australia in the winter. Is that right? In fact,
that's right. So usually like now
he gets a bit hot in his suit.
Yeah, that's right. They have him like being pulled by kangaroos and stuff here. So it's crazy. The whole thing is weird.
No, that's Brad. That's Brad.
Sorry, Brad. Hi, Brad.
Annabelle is asking if we get much rain here. Yeah, actually, the last 2 days, today and yesterday, has been raining quite a bit. So, yeah. Well, hey, Brad, how's it going, George?
Or a little bit of snow.
We don't do Valentine's Day Hallmark holiday where prices are jacked up. Yeah, no, thank you. Fair enough.
Good one, Juliet. Yeah. Totally agree with that.
I must admit, Juliet, I looked at a bouquet of flowers today and thought, they're really different. They're really pretty. I'm going to have those. They would have normally probably been a tenner, and they were £38. And I was like, nah.
It's your Australian dollars.
Yeah, nope. Not having them.
No.
It's
crazy, isn't it?
The US dollars.
I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with celebrating, or having fun with these holidays or these so-called commercial holidays. But I mean, we seem to have lost, like, especially in the Western country, we've lost the actual celebration, like the actual essence of these different things. Parts of our culture that it is what it is, and I don't see why we can't have them, and I just certainly don't see why. I mean, obviously, I don't get into the whole commercialized sort of stuff, but I don't see anything wrong with people celebrating that or having fun with that. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just think that there's a lot of nefarious sort of things going on around it. Is all.
DC, don't get me started on advent calendars, because when I was growing up, I used to have advent calendars, and you used to open the date, and there was a picture of a robin or a reindeer sort of behind it or something. Yeah. And then on the 24th or 25th, there was the nativity scene in the middle. Nowadays, it's all about chocolate.
Yeah, that's right.
When did that happen? Because it was all about pictures and thinking about the meaning of the pictures. And
well, every celebration now has become about, ultra processed foods, ultra processed, chocolates and all sorts of candy and all sorts of other junk. It's crazy.
Hey, I'll tell you what, DC, you and I are making great grumpy old men here, aren't we? Do you remember the two Sesame Street geezers? It's Stader and Waldorf or something. I think we made a great.
We had 2 Oscars now.
Yeah, I was looking at you, DC, to lighten my evening. Instead, I just got another one. Okay, this is 2 of you.
Well, you can't deny the fact. Well, Annabelle's got a good point here too. Like as soon as it's Boxing Day, like the day after Christmas, they start putting out the hot cross buns here. Getting ready for Easter.
The day after Boxing Day, I went to Morrison's, which is a supermarket over here, and they had some Easter eggs all along the bottom row. I couldn't believe it. Literally the day after Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Rick tells us it is.
Yeah, it's a Muppet show.
Valentine's Day is bullshit.
Don't answer that.
You set yourself up for that one.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a fact. Like, again, I don't have any problem with anyone like using any kind of occasion to celebrate their other partner or their, you know, celebrate their ancestors or anything else like that. Like, you know, the theme behind, you know, things like Obon Week in Japan or Halloween, essentially a good thing, but the way it's gone is just it's about taking away a culture and just trying to sell us a heap of junk, you know, and it's crazy world. That's right, George.
No worries, mate. You'll be right.
Yeah. I can see in the background. Yeah. Saturnalia.
Oh, that's one of the that's one of the gods, isn't it? Saturnalia. Can't remember, Rick. But yeah. It's one of the celebrations. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. Something to celebrate today is 7 days of doing wall push-ups. Good job, Annabella. Well done. Yeah. Gotta get into it. Here in the northern Brisbane, very, very little rain so far. Okay. It's been good to get some rain. Actually, it's been dry for a few weeks. We've had some big storms this year, though. You know, a few months ago, we had hail. It was like the size of my palm. It was like huge hail stones. Did a fair bit of damage, unfortunately, but yeah, not much you can do about that.
Easter egg, no?
Yeah, don't worry.
Every day. Excellent, Annabelle. Good job.
My response.
The Muppet Show.
That's it. Yeah, I was going to say, Lainey just set herself up. Which one am I then? But we're not going to say that. USA, yeah, I don't think they do anything. Julia, am I right in thinking you do nothing on the 26th of December? Nothing at all. Because Ireland have got St. Stephen's Day, and Australia and the UK have got Boxing Day, and it is a day off. They're traditionally associated with sport in the UK. What about Australia? Is that a sporting day as well?
Yep. You have the biggest thing happening on Boxing Day, they do have, I think they do have horse racing, but the Sydney to Hobart yacht race.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It starts in Sydney Harbour on Boxing Day, and they race all the way down to Hobart in Tasmania.
Yeah, I know. So I've actually got a story about that, because I raced across the English Channel back in the year 2000. I was basically invited along to be the galley slave, so I was cooking the pasta and pouring the gin and tonics. And it was actually on a boat called Seal 3, CL as in CIEL, which means sky in French. And that won the Sydney to Hobart back in 1973. So I've actually crewed a Sydney to Hobart winning boat. She was long past her prime at the time. But that's one of my small claims to fame. One of my weird claims to fame that I got out there. I've actually helped crew a Sydney to Hobart winner. So there we go. She was very much a pensioner at the time, but even so, she did win it. Yeah,
we work the day after Christmas. Well, Japan does celebrate Christmas, but they actually still work it. It's really, for them, it's just a commercial holiday. It's got nothing to do with Jesus or anything else, or the church, or it's just something fun for them to do. But they do keep working through Christmas.
Yeah, I guess the thing is that the compensation in the States is the Thanksgiving holiday, because we don't do the Thanksgiving holiday. So kind of Boxing Day is maybe our version of it. I don't know, but that's our day off in at that time. Yeah, we did Thanksgiving this year because of the diplomatic role, and I went to Thomas's house for Thanksgiving. We went to Thomas's house for Thanksgiving. We did, that's right, yeah, and Thomas nearly managed to burn it down because he dumped his chicken in the burning hot fat and managed to burn his nose. So that actual clip has gone not exactly viral, but it's very, very, very common. Me sort of looking there and saying, I'm going to have to call the fire brigade. And what I didn't realise is that my American friends have never heard of the fire brigade, because it's not called the fire brigade. And so is do you call it the fire brigade still in Oswald?
Yeah, we call it fire brigade.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but I actually did check it, and believe it or not, we've changed over here. It's now the Fire and Rescue Service, apart from in Birmingham and London, where it remains the brigade. So yeah, but I mean, everybody still calls it the brigade because everybody's always known it as the fire brigade. So yeah. I'm glad to hear that they still call it the fire brigade in Australia.
Well, as far as I know, anyway. I mean, I know that. I mean, all the trucks are fire and rescue and so on, but we all just call it the fire brigade.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, precisely.
Right. So, whatever.
Say, I love you, my darling.
I love you, my darling.
Yeah.
Well, I love you whether it's Valentine's Day or not, to be perfectly honest.
Well, that's the thing. You're like, you still love them, tomorrow or the next day or the day before. So what's the point of like? Why do I have to say?
We're only allowed to love them one day a year, which is Valentine's Day. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you next Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. The whole thing is just weird at the moment. The whole world is just nuts.
Yeah.
It's just
well, one thing, as you know, you and I have been sort of working fairly closely together for the last 2 years. We haven't seen too much of Lainey, and one of her great complaints about me getting involved with the carnival was she never saw me. But Lainey's now taking the attitude: if you can't beat him, join him. So here she is.
I know. I did message him in work the other day, and I said, "Oh my God, I'm turning into you. I've just spent 4.5 hours on YouTube." And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was an hour with Barbara in the morning, then 2.5 hours with yourself, and then an hour with Erin Booby Goats at lunchtime.
4.5 hours.
4.5 hours.
Wow.
Well,
it hasn't done you any harm, Lainey.
No, it hasn't. It has the house. The housework didn't get done.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it does take up a lot of time, doesn't it? But oh well, it is what it is. It can't be everywhere.
We're actually going to the cinema tomorrow to see the new production of Wuthering Heights. Rick, I think Rick is still here. So we probably will catch you a bit later on, but we won't necessarily be with you all day. Well, we never are anyway, but we'll be at the cinema tomorrow. So we'll probably catch you when we get back for the later part of your. Is it? I don't know how long you're doing now, Rick. It's about 5 hours you're doing at the moment, I think. Because you were doing up to 8, but I think
Rick does some late ones. He does some very long ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick. I mean, I think the longest one was like 13 hours or something. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think we got a fairly busy evening tomorrow as well on YouTube. There's a few of the gang who are actually going live tomorrow evening. I think Joe Archer, Joe Sleep and Slim Down Journey. I think she from Nottingham. I think she's going just after Rick. We got a couple of others to run. I'll tell you what, I'll check them on the.
I had a big steak for my lunch, Annabelle. Yeah, I did. Morrison's has got an offer on their sirloin steak. So I loaded up today with them. And that one.
Yeah.
So George has
got lots of inspiration for a new song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went with a little bag because I only wanted some liver and kidney for George, and I had to buy another carrier bag. I had so much meat.
Yeah.
I've got one in my shoulder, one in my arm.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody pay attention. I've got the schedule for tomorrow, chaps. So we got live at 8 with Rick at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is 1 o'clock our time over here, as in GMT. DC, you're going to have to work that out for yourself, Brad, and everybody else.
10 p.m. I think it is 10 p.m. for me here at night. So I usually catch, if Rick's still going, I usually catch him the next morning.
Yeah. Then at 1400 hours our time, which is 14 minus 5. Anybody work that out? That is 40 minus 5. So 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have Coach Stephen actually going with the Saturday supplement with a lady who I should know, but I don't actually recognise it. I recognise her, but I don't know her name. And then at 17:30 GMT, so 2:30. Oh God, I'm hopeless at mathematics. 2:30 Eastern Time. We have Joe, our great friend Joe Archer, Joe's Sleep and Slim Down Journey going live. And then we have at 2100, 4 p.m. Eastern, we got Thomas going live with Bob Angle from Carnival Talk. So that's going to be another good one as well. Two of our friends from the coaching course. And then Emil, that's good, because immediately after that, we've got Robin going on, Robin Heron, Carnivorous Grammar, who's going to be hosting Kalamazoo this year. She's on at 22:30.
Right, yeah. I haven't seen her for a long time.
No, well, she's around. I've been dealing with her. She came on to Carnival Sunday School, and I've been talking directly to her through Messenger on FB about the Kalamazoo, the Impact Festival there. And Lady and myself have already bought our tickets. We've booked into the Holiday Inn. All we've got to do now is book flights, and we're on our way to Kalamazoo. So it's that's going to be our meetup for this year. So cool. That's very much looking forward to that. So yeah, great. And what else we got? I think that's it for tomorrow. Yeah, the following day we've got Juliet's on with Marianne Peters. That's a good one at 5 o'clock our time. So please cut off after an hour, because otherwise you're going to cut straight into Carnival Sunday School. But hopefully you won't. So we'll be treading all over each other's toes. On Sunday evenings are getting very, very busy in our world. They really are. So you've got Coach Stephen as well, and you've got Juliet going on Sunday, us immediately following her. And then Juliet comes back with Doug a bit later on. Oh, and I think a relatively new chap to YouTube, but I know him quite well, Kelly DeVries, Broken Carnival. I think he goes live at 9 o'clock our time, and then Juliet follows on that, and then Rocking Coach Amy follows on at midnight our time. So yeah, Sunday evenings are very, very crowded, and Juliet has just confirmed that Marianne can only be on 45 minutes, which is perfect timing. Everybody watch Juliet. Go and take your coffee break. Oh, did I say the word coffee? How bad of me. Go and take your sparkling water break, and come back for Carnival Sunday School at 15 minutes later. And tomorrow night, we've got a fabulous talent on, a guy called Chris Lloyd, who is a rock musician, a genuine rock star in the Carnival world. He is the lead singer of a band called Talent, who are doing a 6-month tour at the moment. And they are an Eagles tribute band, and they are fantastic. He's got a great story, because basically, he, as a lead singer, having to do a 6-month tour with constantly, he was utterly exhausted, very fat, had to sit down all the time. Found Carnival, lost 3 stone, 42 pounds. Is 69, going on 70. He's the same age as Dr. Kiltz, and is now knocking it dead at his age. And his version of Desperado, which he finishes the show with, is amazing. So yeah, Chris Lloyd tomorrow night, the lead singer of Talon, the Eagles tribute band. Great story, great bloke. And yeah, he's very, very generous with his tickets actually as well. So when he's doing the touring, if he knows of a carnival who lives near the theatre where he's performing, he would invite them on complimentary tickets, VIP tickets. So a few of us have been. We've been twice. We've been very greedy. But yeah, it's Lauren Tucker. I think most people know who will be in Healing Humanity. She's been, and Louise as well, of course, the ubiquitous Louise, who good girls get to heaven, Louise gets everywhere, but fair enough. Yeah. But she's she's great, Louise. Actually, she's one of my strongest allies here in the UK. Doesn't live too far from me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. We organise meetups together. We organised a meetup back in November. Lainey was part of the organisation for that one as well. And we're also organising the Great British Meetup. Louise is on the committee for that. So, yeah, she's a great asset to the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great, man. Who's he trying to get back into moving again? Yeah, Barb's doing great, and they kind of snowed in a bit, sort of slowed it down a bit. But we always have setbacks, Barb. We always have setbacks, so it's not like when you have a setback though. Yes, you do lose momentum very quickly, but you find that you get that momentum back faster than when you first started. So, don't be afraid to, don't worry about too much, having setbacks, you get back into it much faster. So,
yeah, I just, when I was looking for the live for tomorrow, I just noticed that Barb's posted again today, her walk 127. So I should be watching that over the course of the weekend for sure as well. There are certain ones that I won't miss, and Barb's obviously won them. And but it's so busy on YouTube now, and I'm so busy in
Yeah,
life.
it is.
I just don't have time to. So apologies to anybody who I try and get around as many as I can, but I can't get around all of everybody's, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I try and watch the lives as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to keep up. You know, there's so many different channels now, and there's so many people coming out with all these different things that, you know, and lives and so on. But yeah, it's. I mean, you do what you can, but yeah, you can't be everywhere. So, I noticed today, this year, I wasn't in pain. Excellent. So that was a plus. Yesterday, I was hurting again.
Yeah, I saw Grandma's walk yesterday. DC, it was her ankle that was playing her up. So
okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, especially, I mean, when you get back into it, you know, joints are usually the first things that are going to suffer when you start walking again. And they're going to be and they're usually the easiest to, because they weaken so easily when you've had so much time off, like doing nothing or being sedentary, that your joints will suffer when you start back again. They're usually the first ones, or the first part that you're going to find that you'll injure very quickly. But they will heal, obviously, but that's why it's one of the things that I like to emphasize to people, to work on your like structural stability first. Work on strengthening your joints before you start doing too much. You know? But you know, light stuff like walking, and you just do what you can, and it always gets better. You know, it always does. So.
Yeah, I remember the first time that you and I spoke on screen, DC, I told you about my knees, and you gave me some exercise, and they have improved, but I don't think I'm ever going to get them back. They're not painful now, but they're stiff, and I do walk awkwardly still. But I can walk, so I'm grateful for that, because there was a time back along when I could barely shuffle along. Lainey used to have to wait for me in the street, which is really quite.
I'm not sure if I've still got it up there, but there was a video I did a little while back about rehabilitating knees and ankles. I'm not sure if that's still on my channel, but I'll have a look. I'll see if it's still there. There are certain exercises that we can do, but that doesn't mean that everyone's going to have like a 100% sort of recovery either. You can only do so much, you know, especially when it comes to like soft tissue repairs much easier. You know, hard tissue is, you know, a little bit more difficult to sort of repair. So all we can do is the best that, you know, or get ourselves to the best point that we can, and from there it makes everything else, you know, more manageable, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've got myself to the point now where I can walk uphill. Myself and Ziggy of Carnival Campers, we go walking every now and again, and she's my probably my nearest carnival friend. That's all carnival YouTuber, and we do regular walks. We do about 3 or 4 a year, and we do some pretty impressive hills around. Well, as impressive as you can get around here. So I'm just very, very grateful I can still walk uphill, because a couple of years ago I couldn't have done. I don't think I'll ever run again. But as long as I can keep walking uphill and having a laugh and a joke with Ziggy, because she's got an incredible sense of humor.
How does your knee feel when you're walking downhill?
He rolls.
No, my rolling downhill days are over. Well, I'm the wrong shape to roll down. I used to be very good at rolling downhill. Yeah, not too bad, to be honest. I do use a stick, which does help. But that's just a walking stick. No, I don't think it's really. As I said, I'm not really in pain at all with them, DC. It's just it's stiff, and I do walk a bit funny. And I probably my maximum, you know, whereas back in the old days, even when I was walking, my maximum walking pace was 5 miles an hour, or a brisk walking pace was 5 miles an hour. Nowadays, it's probably 3 miles an hour. A steady walking pace for me nowadays is 2 miles an hour. Brisk walking pace is 3. But
do you do any kind of stretching or anything like that?
Oh yeah. Certainly before a walk like that, I do. Yeah. But I'm a bit lazy when it comes to day-to-day stuff.
Yeah, don't stretch before a walk.
Okay.
Stretch afterwards.
All right. Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is when you finished your walk or any kind of exercise, right? And then you sit down or you relax or whatever. So that when you are actually doing the exercise or the walking or whatever exercise you're doing, your muscles are going to stretch and expand anyway, right?
Yeah.
Once they get warmed up, everything relaxes and everything's good. But then when you cool down, especially if you're sitting in a chair and everything cools down, you get real muscles will shrink, and they will, if you're sitting down, for example, if like your legs are in a say 90-degree angle, your hamstrings especially are going to really get short, okay, because they're in that shortened period, okay, or shortened position. So when they cool down like that, that's when you need to stretch them out. All right, so stretch afterwards, not beforehand. Right. You can warm up before you go, so like warm up your joints, so like do some ankle rotations or knee rotations or something, or hip rotations or things like that. So warm up, that's fine, but don't stretch until you finish your walk. Maybe even like half an hour afterwards when they've cooled down a bit.
That figures. I remember a couple of years ago, didn't you do a month challenge, a rucking challenge for a month to do a day's?
Yep.
I remember that. Yeah. So I sort of try to keep up with it as best I could. And actually, what I did that month was incorporate a lot of walks to the shop, which is about half a mile away, with take an empty ruck with me and then fill that up and walk back with it. And that was
that's good.
Was a good way of getting it done. I still do myself. Do that quite a lot. If we got a fairly small shop to do, like we'll walk to the shop with a couple of bags versus taking the car. The walks, I think the Aldi is 12 minutes walk from us, so it's 12 minutes there, 12 minutes back. It's not bad. Probably just over a mile. So it's and obviously we're carrying stuff on the way back as well, which does help. It's like Dr. Kills was talking today about, just be active, just live normal life. It's not necessary to go to the gym. It's not necessary to go for a run, but just take the stairs instead of the elevator, or the lift, as we should say in this country. I don't know whether Madam Secretary is still watching, but it is the lift. And then basically, walk to the shops, don't drive.
When you can.
Yeah, exactly. So it's obviously in Australia when you're 20 miles from the nearest shop, it's a bit different, isn't it? Like Rick, for Rick, for example, he cycles everywhere. So if you've got a bicycle, then there's that option as well. I'm fairly active, so I have to keep on getting up to open the gate to let vehicles in, shut that. So I'm doing a lot of short walks all the time during the day. Oh, thank you so much, darling. I have a very romantic wife. He wrote for romantic or embarrassing, one of the two. I'm not quite sure which.
It can be both.
Always makes you right. Not exactly a very Australian Blakey thing to do, that is it, DC? Accepting a rose off your missus.
So good. Women love the sensitive type these days.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I'll be very popular in Walkabout Creek or wherever it is that a good old Crocodile Dundee lived in, whatever it was.
Yeah, Walkabout Creek. Yeah,
that's a very manly thing to do.
Yeah.
But totally. Yeah, so basically live an active lifestyle. Do the hoovering,
that's it.
Instead of the dishwashers, stand at the sink and do them. Use a broom, use a vacuum cleaners are very good, especially lugging them up and down stairs. So there's loads and loads of ways of just keeping healthy, fit without having to go put yourself through the hell of the gym.
Go out and experience life. Like I think a lot of people, so much of life is wasted. People, even with these fit young people trying to be fit, going to the gym, they spend their whole life in the gym. It's like, go out and do something, experience something, like go diving, go rock climbing, do something, like get outside. And I think that's more important than how the fitness industry version of what we should be or should look like. It's totally bullshit. People waste so much of their life doing that stuff. But I'm the coach too, so like that to me was life beforehand. But honestly now I think it's more about finding new experiences and enjoying yourself. So And you can be quite active doing that. There's a lot of great things you can do outside and going doing different things, and you can still get fit and strong.
Yeah.
You know. Why are they called wisdom teeth? Good question. It might be a question for Dr. Abs, actually. But yeah.
I don't know why they're called wisdom teeth, but I know why we have them. And that's because during the agricultural revolution of 12th, the human skull shrunk significantly. So basically the jawbone narrowed to the point where the last teeth to come through no longer had room, because before, when we had broader jaws, we had room for all these teeth. And that is actually the reason why
well, that's why a lot of people have them removed anyway, because they lack the space to keep them. I've been lucky. Like I've never had any trouble with my wisdom teeth until after chemotherapy. I had 2 removed because they rotted. Kind of difficult to get out and brush as well.
Yeah, Laney's had ONJ, or osteonecrosis of the jaw, thanks to the bone infusion. So I think you're minus 8 teeth at the moment.
9.
Minus 9 teeth.
Yeah, I'm minus 3 total.
17 and 25, quite traditionally associated with reaching maturity.
Hang on a second, Laney, come and sit down here and tell DC. Don't chat it from over there.
Right. Wisdom teeth, or the third molars, are called such because they typically erupt between the ages of 17 and 25, a time traditionally associated with reaching maturity and gaining wisdom.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
And the reason why most people have them removed is because they don't have the space in their jaw, because we went to the agricultural revolution. So and that actually, a lot of that actually comes down to the way you breathe. The way you breathe also shapes the way your jaw develops as well. So, and your face, an elongated face is someone you can see is a mouth breather. So,
Grandma's giving us a lesson in Greek and Latin. That's interesting, actually. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, the wisdom, teeth of wisdom, dentes sapientiae. Yeah, which translates into is wisdom teeth. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, because obviously sapientia, we are Homo sapiens, which means the wise man. I'm afraid we're not living up to that much these days.
No, that's right. Unfortunately. Yeah, well done. Excellent, Bob. No, that's right. Unfortunately, we're not sort of living up to the whole wisdom teeth thing. But when you have these teeth removed as well, because a lot of people do have trouble with that, it also weakens the jaw.
Yeah.
So when you have teeth removed, the dentists don't generally tell you this, but it actually weakens your jaw, and it also will cause like indentations in the jaw, like in the gums, and that also causes saggy skin on your face and so on, because it's there's a lot of nerves involved in how keeping teeth in there as well. So there's a lot of side effects.
This ONJ, which Laney's had, thanks to she's actually the jaw started dying, so she's lost part of her jaw as well and 9 teeth. But things are holding up really well since she's gone full carnivore. Things appear to be holding up, so we're hopeful that she won't lose all of her teeth as was predicted.
Hopefully.
But it's a very worrying, very difficult time. But I think she was, I think we discussed this the other day, DC. She decided on February the 1st, so that's it. She's not going to let cancer drag her down anymore or anything. She's actually going to just enjoy life. So we've seen a great transformation, and it's
well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, none of us know how much time we have, and
no, we don't exactly.
So, and we should be as grateful as we can be. I mean, I'm not saying like we have to be, all rainbows and unicorns every day, and that's not going to happen, right? No. But it's good to at least appreciate the fact that you wake up each day, and there are things that we can do, So
I had a really bad day yesterday. Really bad day. My lymphedema was playing up something chronic. I felt really off yesterday, but I woke up this morning and I'm back.
Yeah, your lymph nodes are up as well.
Yeah, all my lymph nodes came up everywhere, and I was, you know what happens when you get, before you know, all your lymph nodes go, don't they? And all under here, they've gone in my this bit.
Abdomen
down the bottom. All those were really up as well. They were like little pebbles, and I was like, oh no. Straight away, bang, the brain starts going, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's all gone down today, so
you'd be surprised. I mean, like you're gonna have days like that where like I've had this happen to me quite often too. Is like I'd get a fever, I'd get tired, like for years afterwards. If I was awake for more than just a couple of hours, I would get a fever. I'd be so tired that it'd be hard to sort of stay, even just to watch a movie or something. But because I was in that state, all my lymph nodes would start swelling up, you know, and I would be, it kind of looked like I was kind of mumpy all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, get some sleep, take a couple of painkillers would knock me out for a few hours, or you know, the next day it'd be gone, you know. So
yeah,
it's just one of those things. It's one of those side effects of, you know, chemotherapy. Unfortunately, it plays havoc with your lymphatic system for many years afterwards, and your bone marrow and everything else. So
yeah, that's why you've got other bone infusion.
I have bone infusion. Yeah. Stephen had a big discussion about the calcium D2 he was talking about today, or I'm on the D3, and I got really confused because he was talking about,
Dave Mack.
Yeah, Dave Mack, that it's not really needed, and I'm like, but I need it. I've got to have it because of the bone infusion. You know, it's prescribed to me. I have to take it every day. So I think it's just what you're going through, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're all coming from different places, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So there are going to be times where you need a bridge to get you from this point to this point, you know, where you can, you know, take away the medications and stuff like that. I mean, it took me years and years to get off medications or off everything, right? So, I mean, but the thing is though, yes, there are medications do have bad side effects, but they also have some benefits when you're in that situation.
Yeah.
So you just need to mitigate the risk by changing and having these positive lifestyle habits, which will help with the side effects, right? So that's what it's all about. You know, you change eventually you'll get to the point where the lifestyle habits will help you get off those medications a lot faster, you know, and that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember when I was diagnosed with stress and I was off work, I was in a really bad I had a counsellor, you know, an actual not psychiatrist but psychologist or a counsellor anyway, trained counsellor, and I was on Prozac, prescription Prozac, and he described the Prozac as being as I was lost at sea. I was in a really lost at sea in a mental maelstrom in a storm, and he said the Prozac is like a lifeboat which has come to pick you up to take you back to shore until you get on solid ground again, and then you won't need the lifeboat anymore. And of course, I did manage to get off it myself, but I was only functioning really for about 10 years, existing day to day. And then, of course, I discovered carnivore diet, and I'm very much back on solid ground, as you can probably tell by my sense of humor and my irrepressible desire to talk. Yeah, exactly. So, so I quite
he even talks in his sleep.
Yeah, well,
that's a word.
I couldn't understand you the other night because you were talking in Arabic.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tip for you gentlemen. If you're calling out your girlfriend's name, call it in Arabic, not in English. It's a lot easier.
Yeah, make sure she doesn't understand.
Exactly. It's worthwhile going to learn a couple more languages just in case, you know.
Just in case.
They bring him constantly.
Fair enough. My missus is the same. She has my missus will have a full conversation to herself while she's sleeping. It's funny as hell. Like, she'll wake me up. I'll just sit there listening to her because it's funny as hell.
When we lived in our other house, he actually kicked me so hard I fell out of bed because he was having a fight with somebody.
Yeah, well, it's always a bit war veteran.
That's something I used to be pretty bad at that too. Actually, I mean, I don't do that stuff anymore. Actually, because I think the breath work beforehand really helps mellow me out before I sleep. But like I used to kick a lot when I was sleeping, and actually once I had like a small dog. It was sleeping on the bottom of the bed, and I kicked it so hard it went flying. Must have gone about 3 meters in the air and hit the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one who comes and spends time on our bed as well.
Oh, I like kitty cat.
Gets ejected.
That's the big cat.
That's
Angus.
big cat.
Yeah, that's Angus.
It looks like she needs a carnivore diet too. Yeah, she's a bit big.
Yeah, he's 14 now. He's getting on a bit. He's getting a bit lumpy and a bit bumpy. But we didn't know about the problem with dried food, and of course he's addicted to dried food now. So it's probably taken a couple of years off him. But he's not doing too bad for a 14-year-old. But he's not as probably in as good health as he could have been. But hey ho, you live and learn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's all you can do. So
I know that Rick isn't feeding Milton anything other than the real stuff. So yeah. Oh God,
yeah, his cat's still lean.
My cat's still lean.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Yeah.
He's got.
Yeah, I think young Milton sort of hit the storm jackpot there. I think
He certainly did. Yeah. We've got to see where the calico cat
in the world.
Yeah. Barbara did a great song today about the calico cat and Milton. And Milton is, despite his lack of a certain attribute, he's still apparently courting calico cat, hoping to get a tan to come down off the wall and come and play with him. But that little romance is yet to be confirmed. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. It's ridiculous, really. I mean, it's like a soap opera. We now have a kitty soap opera or a feline soap opera. Milton is the star and Miss
separated
Kitty
by a window.
A love interest.
Yeah. Only separated by a window.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Poor old Daisy's not getting a look in nowadays since Milton's arrived on the scene, as in Bill's cat up in Alaska. Daisy was the most famous cat in the carnival world at one time, but I think Milton's well and truly taken over now.
Oh yeah. Milton is he's quite a celebrity now. He's got his own show. Yeah.
He's upstage Rick, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea where the calico came from. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens, Rick, is that there's a mummy cat and there's a daddy cat. And when the mummy cat and the daddy cat get together, they have lots of little cats.
There was a
child
where
it came from.
Exactly, yeah, lots of they call kittens.
Yeah.
No, there is actually a famous children's poem which involves a calico cat. It was a something dog and the calico cat, and they ended up having a fight in which they ate each other or something. I remember when I was growing up. Yeah, the something dog and the calico cat. I bet Barbara's
good children's story.
Yeah. I'm going to find you.
Find what the calico?
Annabella.
Annabella.
Oh, actually, I've already got her.
Right.
So
it was. I'll tell you what. There was a gingham dog, Gingham, and the calico cat, and they had a fight. And in the end, there was just scraps of material left of them because they ate each other, basically. I bet Barbara knows that poem. But
it sounds like a nice children's story.
Yeah, yeah. But think about the children's stories that are out there: Hansel and Gretel. Cannibalism, roasting.
Yeah,
think about Little Red Riding
Hood. Yeah. It must have been. I think the witch must have been Hillary Clinton. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, there's some very dark fairy stories out there at the end of the day, aren't there?
Yeah. Like all the was it the Grimm, the Brothers Grimm? Yeah, all those.
Yeah, it was Brothers Grimm.
Yeah, some pretty dark stories.
Yeah, Little Red Riding Hood. Did the wolf ate grandma? In fact, but she was still alive and then the woodcutter.
Yeah, when they cut her out. Yeah, they cut her out of his belly. Yeah, and then
exactly.
she came out alive. So must have been a big wolf.
Wolf, eh?
It swallowed a hole. Yeah, there's some pretty weird stories out there. She loves Milton. Yeah, she just doesn't.
Yeah, that's very true, Grandma.
Yeah, it's gonna be two frustrated cats, isn't it? I'm sure they can still have a bit of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, but they're quite popular, cats in Japan. They're actually islands. They're actually called cat islands. They'll have a fishing village, and like all the wild cats will just come down to the docks, and the fishermen give them whatever just leftover sort of fish that they don't sell. But there's actually, I think there's for every person living on this island, I think there's like 10 cats. Yeah, like it's a huge population of cats. The whole island's overrun with them. Yeah. So,
yeah, you get a lot of feral cats in the Mediterranean countries as well. Greece and Turkey with the fishing ports. They're everywhere, absolutely everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, Greece. Yeah, Greece is another popular place for cats too, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Yeah, Milton is much nicer since he got fixed.
John's here. Hello, John.
Hey, John. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you.
That would be rolling straight to Grandma in a minute.
We will be rolling straight to Grandma. So
yeah, stay up.
Yeah, we'll just stay up and go say hello to her for half an hour. We'll catch you at this end of the night, Barbara, not the other end of the night.
Yeah, you guys won't get much of it. Won't get any sleep this weekend.
No, you're exactly right. Yeah, because we're going to go and see Wuthering Heights, the new film which is coming out. Apparently, it's quite raunchy.
It's
quite raunchy, apparently.
Yeah. So if you don't see me and George tomorrow, you know why.
Because
fair enough.
Because we're in the cinema. That's the reason.
After the cinema.
After the cinema,
every movie remake they do these days, everything sort of gets that way, doesn't it? It gets a little bit more risque, so to speak.
Yeah, it's very true.
But every time they do it, it's I don't know, sex sells, doesn't it? So
it certainly does. Yeah. I'm just
trouble puffs.
These trouble puffs. It's good to say it was a success. Trouble puff. That's a good name for Annabella. Very polite.
I like that.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, what's on the plan? What's on the plans for you guys in the future? You're gonna upscale a bit. You're getting an ice bath. George, you're gonna start making plans for the ice bath as well. Or you just
my plans are to not take an ice bath. So that I've got very good plans with regards to ice baths, DC, believe me.
I found them on Amazon, and they're sort of they do blow up ones or collapsible ones, so you can. It literally fits one person in it, so you can sit in.
Yeah.
And I was like, and they're not that expensive, so I might get one for if we get a summer.
Oh, don't wait for summer. Don't wait for summer. You got to do it year round. It's got to be a regular thing,
But I think it'll be warmer in the ice bath than it is in our garden.
Probably. So you shouldn't have any trouble then, George.
No, it's yeah, you're right there.
Yeah. No,
I do have one announcement to make, and that's that myself and Lainey are going to go and see our accountants on Monday because we're setting up our own company, our own LLC limited company. Surprisingly, it's not the idea we got. It's not necessarily coaching like you would expect us to, but in fact, it is tourism, guided history. As you know, I'm a great history fan.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
A lot of history around here, and I'm thinking about setting up a guided touring business.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I am setting up that is the plan for between April and September, and then maybe for the winter months I might do a bit of English teaching. So I'm a qualified English teacher, maybe a bit of literature as well, and who knows, maybe even a bit of coaching in our world as well, possibly.
Yeah.
But I'm fed up with making other people money, DC. So it's time for me to. It's time for us to.
Yeah, I'm sort of getting that way myself, and sort of need to work on that myself, actually, on that side of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. You'd probably be good. You'd be very good at that, I think, because you are a bit of a history buff, and you can sort of
it was an idea which actually started 20 years ago when my friend I told you about down in South Australia, Renmark, was over here, and she was she's a teacher, school teacher, and I took her on and her then boyfriend on the week-long George tour, as I called it, and she said, "You really should go professional." I said, "Yeah, I'm going to do that." And so then I got metabolically ill, and I lost all my energy, enthusiasm for life. But hey, what's 20 years amongst friends? It was 2006. So here I am 20 years later, picking up where I left off in 2006. And yeah, the Madam Secretary, Coach Judith, and her husband Doug have kindly come over, and they're going to be the guinea pigs on the pilot episode, if you like. Obviously, I won't be charging them or anything, but I'm hoping to get feedback off them to see whether they think it might be popular amongst the other people from across the pond. Because certainly Bridget, my friend down in Oz, reckon that the Aussies would love it, because we take in cathedrals, abbeys, Glastonbury Abbey, Glastonbury Tor, the legendary Glastonbury Tor, Cheddar Gorge and caves where the actual cheese comes from, is where it originates from.
Yeah.
Stonehenge. I think everybody's heard of Stonehenge.
Exmoor Safari, if Juliet is still like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then we've got Dunster Castle, which is a proper castle on the edge of Exmoor in the morning, and then we got a 4x4, SUV safari in the afternoon. So yeah, we got quite a bit of stuff going on, really, and
great.
And we're going down and we're 90 minutes away from Plymouth, where so we're going to go down and see the Mayflower Steps, where the Mayflower sailed from. And there's an excellent fish restaurant called Rockfish down there, which is all the fresh catch from the sea. So it's going to be, and there's a wonderful aquarium as well. So yeah, basically, I think the problem that I find with a lot of Aussies and Americans is that they don't think outside London. When I was working in London, in Kensington, Main Kensington, South Kensington, Gloucester Road area was basically little Australia. And a lot of guys came over, the guys and gals came over, and they worked in the hospitality trade in pubs, and they never got outside London. And so, yeah, what I'm going to try and do is encourage our visitors to come over and see something other than London, because we've got a lot to show them down in the southwest, and it's a lot more picturesque as well. So yeah, that is my unique selling position. Basically, a 7-day holiday, seeing abbeys, cathedrals, stately homes, palaces, Bishop's Palace in Wales, and caves and gorges and tours and famous stuff, basically. So yeah. So anybody wants it? Oh, crikey, bye, ZC.
Oh, hang on, mate. I'm still here. I'm just got to swap cameras.
All right, no worries, mate. Should be right. Yeah. So if anybody's interested in that sort of thing, wants to know a bit more about it, or if anybody's got any wealthy friends who would like to know a bit more about it, then do come and see me. Because it's I'm taking the risk, but without taking the risk, you don't get any reward. And there is I've got some lines on the wall behind me, and one of them says, "You don't have to have it all worked out, but just keep you don't have it all figured out, but just keep the faith while you figure it out," which is pretty much me at the moment. I haven't got it all figured out yet, but I am keeping the faith while I do figure it out, because as we know, the universe is unfolding as it should. Keep the faith, trust the process. And things usually work out as they're meant to. Sometimes they don't work out as planned, but sometimes the plan goes off only to reveal a better path to take anyway. So
exactly, that's what I feel. I feel exactly the same way.
Yeah,
things don't always go to plan, but they usually work out.
Yeah, we've got it. We've gone back to that Charles poem I was talking about. Donna Ray's got it. The gingham cat and the gingham dog and the calico cat. And I'm sure that they had a fight in which ended up with them, because they were both materials. There was just a few scraps of material left to show that they were in the first place.
James Vanderbeek passing away from cancer. Okay. I wish everyone knew about Carnival. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, all we can do, Annabella, is our best, and we put the stories out there. We tell people about it, but unfortunately, it's going to take a long time for people to come to this way of, or wake up to this way of eating, I guess, and to simple lifestyle habits that will make such a big difference. But
I mean, the problem is that the thing is, once you've already got the cancer, you are firefighting using carnivore.
Yeah.
Ideally, what you want to do is actually, we want to get young children eating carnivore, because then you won't damage your mitochondria and cancer will never take hold in the first place. That's a long-term ambition. Because this generation, I think 1 in 2 people are getting cancer, so it's just a question of fighting it. But if we can prevent it by getting children eating correctly from a young age, then they probably never will get it, and not necessarily very unlucky, as Sarah Hallberg was, Dr. Sarah was. But it's as much about prevention as it is cure.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, prevention is always better than cure, obviously. And you can come away without any side effects too, like without other problems. But on a whole, like just getting anyone into changing their lifestyle habits, that's going to take time. Unfortunately, it's just that, like you said, people are brainwashed. They've been brainwashed very well, because it's on everything. It's like things, everywhere you read, books, TV, the news, everything. It's around us. It's all propaganda. It's all, and we've grown up with this. Everyone has, so breaking free of it's a big job. And unfortunately, even though there are some people out there who may be awake to certain things, like politics, for example, they might not be awake to it, like how it's involved with nutrition and so on, like that. So I think we're in the beginning of a very long and slow, arduous sort of process, Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Erin's here.
Erin, how are you doing?
Yeah, second time.
Hello, everyone. Yeah,
we had a good lunchtime. Well, lunchtime my end session or morning session with Erin today. We always learn a lot on Erin's. We've always got a topic. I think yesterday, if I remember right, it was the day before. It was about the elephants who were put on trial and killed over in the States because they'd offended the local population. I think one of them killed the handler. So yeah, it was. We always learn a lot on Erin. She's always got She's always got good information at her fingertips, and the conversation goes down different routes, and she always have the answers. So for me, it's very interesting. It's kind of the opposite of Russ Mitchell on Keto Cookout, because on Keto Cookout, I kept on getting threatened with a ban because he doesn't like to learn anything. He's only there for the fun.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I mean, Russ is he's a funny guy.
He certainly is.
Yeah, and he's a nice guy too. And I think he just wants to be everyone's friend too, so like he's just wants to keep it pretty light, and that's fair enough. So,
the Reverend Ivy Low Carbon, he's one of my favorite.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah. Actually, I haven't caught up with them for a while, but yeah, they're good.
No, so I never used to see him on Keto Cookout, and that because I'm now working a day job again. I just can't make it. But I am intending to finish the day job, launch the company in June. So I will be back on Eastern Standard Time then. So I will be catching up with all my friends again after that, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Hi, Erin.
Erin's here,
yeah. So, well, that's good, man. I think, I mean, like, it's interesting. You're going to start a tour company and things like that. And I think it's, like, you'll be able to, I mean, while you're doing that, you'll be able to, I don't know, maybe take people to, or get them into, or thinking about maybe different restaurants, perhaps, maybe take them to a steakhouse or something.
Yeah, exactly. That is the plan. I do have, I've trained most of my local restaurants to me now to think carnivore, because most of my friends of mine anyway. So it's and they've seen the miracle happen. They have watched me lose 125 pounds. They've seen the change in me, so they believe. They're not necessarily going to do it themselves, but they've got no qualms about me saying, yeah, okay, I'll have the mixed grill, no sides. Yeah, okay, George, we know. And the up at the Tudor Hotel where Dr. Kiltz and Juliet and everybody else will be staying with us. Well, I've known them for 56 years, and they know now that basically when I say steak and no sides, I mean steak and no sides. So everybody will be well catered for, and and they know that the breakfast, it consists of bacon and eggs in butter. It's carnival friendly.
In the first time,
that's good.
He ordered they knew he was coming and they knew what he was going to do. So they actually put us in the corner, didn't they? Because I said to George, I think they're embarrassed. Everybody's so used to having a big plate with a big steak and chips and peas and mushrooms and onion rings.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They didn't want to be seen just bringing out this plate with a steak on it and nothing else. And people think, oh God, is that it? I won't order that.
Oh, the funniest one though is when I ordered just no sides, and it did indeed come out with no sides, but somebody had garnished it with pea shoots or something, that put a bit of green on it, and I thought it was a chef. And the waitress Carla, who is a very good friend of mine, she came up and I said, Carla, I said, tell chef not to bother putting, because I had to sweep it off the top. I said, tell chef not to bother putting the green stuff on it because I won't eat it. And she said, George, that was me. Grabbed the green stuff on the side and stalks off. And I thought I've offended her mortally. But the next day she came and found me on Facebook and befriended me. So I guess she did forgive me. But she knows not to make that mistake ever again, because as she explained afterwards, it's what she'd been trained to do, to garnish the steak. And it didn't occur to her that what she was doing was, as I told her, the equivalent of serving a vegan with lardons, bacon on as a garnish. You know, would you garnish a vegan salad with bacon? She said, well, no, of course I wouldn't. I said, well, why did you garnish a carnival steak with pea shoots? Is it really that bad? It isn't really, but I did say yes. Of course it is that bad. So
poor girl.
Yeah, but she got the message, and the same mistake has never been made since. I'll just get the plain steak nowadays.
I'm just gonna answer baby Erin. I went shopping to just get some liver and kidney for George, and they had so many offers on in our local Morrison's, which is the big supermarket. I ended up having to buy an extra carrier bag, a big one, because I bought so much meat and got steaks, loads of steaks, lamb racks were on offer as well. And I've got loads. My freezer, both freezers are now full with meat. And
we were talking about I remember what we're talking about now. We're talking about superstitions on Erin's hour today. And she says, say hello to the magpie for me, because if you see a magpie in the morning, you have to greet it with morning, Mr. Magpie. Morning, Mr. Otherwise, Magpie. It's late. Twice. Do you have magpies in Oz, DC, or not?
Yeah, mate. Yep.
Yeah, they like shiny things, don't they?
Yeah. I don't think they have them in the US of A, because people were asking what a magpie was. They're sort of the same family as jays, and I know you have the bluebird, the jay over in the States.
Magpies are black and white.
Yeah.
And evil.
Yeah, they are very evil, actually.
Evil.
No, I don't think so. Magpies are quite friendly at times when you feed them.
Oh yeah, they're corvids.
They get quite tame, you know. They get quite tame, and like at some stage, I actually feed them by hand, so they're quite friendly.
The nests off of the birds.
Sorry?
They pinch the nests which got the eggs in of the other birds.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, a lot of birds do that though, you know. So
yeah, I did.
I eat eggs too, though, so you know. I take the eggs from my chickens, so you know, it's the same thing.
That's very true.
I see Annabella's mentioning Dr. Anthony Chaffee. DC, have you seen Barbara's tribute to Anthony Chaffee? You know, she's done one for you and me. He beat the unbeatable. I'm the man from across the pond. Have you ever seen Barbara's tribute to Anthony?
No, I haven't. No.
The shirtless doctor? No, fair enough. Okay, very, very good. The byline is how many patients have a crush or something.
Oh gosh, yes.
I thought, well, I sent you yours because you didn't know about it, and then took you by surprise. I thought, I wonder. I sent Anthony his today. I don't know whether he's seen it yet or what he'll make of it. But
see you in a bit, Grandpa.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got to go. Grandma's going off to start that, but yeah, Barbara, I did let Anthony know that you made. I sent him the song, so let's see what he makes of it.
10 eggs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well
Yeah,
done,
she doesn't
Annabelle.
actually mention that. She doesn't mention Dr. Chafee by naming that, but she does mention the fact that there's a very well known doctor who takes his shirt off a lot and tells rugby stories. So I think he'll get the drift of who it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be pretty easy to understand. Yeah. She loves Chafee.
Very easy on the eye.
Yeah,
but apparently, I didn't realise this, but apparently there is a bit of a sort of split in the lionesses between Abs and Chafee.
Oh, Abs is
I was going to say there are certain
Abs is quite popular. Yeah, Abs is quite popular.
It's his eyes are mesmerising.
We've actually got Abs talking at the Great British Meetup this year.
He won't be talking.
I was going to say, I happen to know there are a couple of lionesses amongst us who will be actually sort of squaring off against each other for the first opportunity to go up and say hello, shall we say?
Me and Juliet.
Yeah.
Look up your eggs. Here comes Annabelle. Yeah. My chickens are quite lovely. Actually, they're fun. Actually, there's a couple of them. They can't wait for me to even give them the food. Like as soon as I walk in the pen, two of them will fly up, one on each arm, and start eating while I'm still walking through, like trying to feed the rest of them. But I mean, they're really quite lovely, very friendly chickens. Actually, I never really liked chickens much before, except eating them, of course. But I never really thought much of them. But they're quite fun. They're a lot of fun to have around, actually.
You've got that really cute flock of ducks up there. Are they whistler ducks or no? Not whistlers, are they? What are they? Whistlers, yeah, whistlers. I thought so. Yeah, because I've seen
we've got whistlers. We've got whistlers. We've got wood ducks. We've got Muscovy.
Don't say Muscovy when Rick's around. Muscovy is
we've got heaps of ducks here actually. There's a couple of geese here now too. So.
All right. Okay. Yeah, Rick's got Muscovy ducks. They're just about hanging on in there. Depends how hungry he is.
Erin, you're gonna have to do a poll tomorrow morning or Tuesday morning on the Chafee versus Abs. Yeah,
and Rick wants Dr. Baker thrown into the mix as well. Apparently, he's asking why
aren't the girls attracted to Baker? I think Baker's too old, mate. I think the girls are all like the younger boys. Chafee looks like a Ken doll, like his plastic features and nothing's out of place, sort of thing.
No, we've got an English one. It's called Ken.
Dr. Abs, he's well known in the carnivore space. Yeah, he's very popular. I didn't have any bacon and hungry. Okay, so 10 eggs is fair enough. Yeah, I eat anywhere between 10 and 15 eggs in a day. So just depends. Yeah, Muscovy. Yeah. We lost one recently, but the rest of them, there's still about 6 others here at the moment. So,
You lost one. Was Rick anywhere near at the time?
Well, I don't know, man. It just disappeared. So, yeah. Yeah. Ricky's too old. Yeah. Baker's only a year older than me.
A year older than an inch shorter. Yeah. I've got the photograph which proves that. I've got the photograph from Hack Your Health which somebody sent me. Can't remember who. Maybe Lewis.
Yeah. And you think about Rick. He doesn't. He doesn't really sort of stretch out much either. Like he's sort of just very relaxed sort of posture as well. So if you're standing next to him, you'd realize he's actually extremely tall.
Yeah,
6'6". I can't even imagine. Like you'd get a sore neck just talking to him all day, I think.
Yeah, I've also got a photograph of him and Dr. Nelson stood next to each other. It is very much the Adams family, to say the least.
We
all know who the characters are, Lurch and Uncle Fester. Yeah. But it's even more impressive when you actually see them directly standing next to each other or get the photograph. It is through. I mean, the thing is that who gets to play Morticia? That's what I'd like to know. It's I'm not sure we've got any volunteers for it. Anybody got any ideas about who should play Morticia from the Adams family, from the carnivore Adams family?
Juliet's got the hair.
Morticia, I don't think there is a more. What about maybe the Baroness of Beef? Maybe
I don't know.
Is it
Baroness.
Yeah. Okay, she's in Queensland as well.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I have heard of her. Actually, yeah, I forgot, but
Yep.
I haven't really sort of met her very much, to be honest with you.
Ain't got time.
No, I haven't got time. It's very true.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if Juliet
Fair
can
enough.
play. Juliet does most other roles within the carnival community, so she might make a good mortician.
Yeah.
Straight
With
down.
Douglas Gomez, maybe your husband, Douglas Gomez.
Apparently, there's nothing worse than being embraced by a big guy. Okay, so that's why they don't like Sean Baker. Maybe, I don't know. I have that photo too. It's in my intro to my live stream. Yeah. Lurch and Uncle Fester is funny. Yeah. Paul Mason's a good. Yeah, Paul Mason's brilliant.
I was going to chuck Dr. Paul Mason into the mix here as a thinking girls Totty. You know, the thinking girls man. So maybe that is it. Well, no, obviously, but Annabella clearly is definitely a thinking girl.
How many Queenslanders are actually here? Yeah, that's a good question. How many Queenslanders are in the chat today? Yeah.
There's been quite a few so far, to be honest with you. Josephine's Queensland, so is Brad.
Yeah, that's good to see. Good to hear. Actually,
Was Jojo here with it? I think she was, wasn't she? Josephine Cowan?
She was here before. Yeah, Joe was here before. Yeah, we're gonna have to have another meetup in Queensland soon. Hopefully, so I have to organise something with young Joff. So, yeah. Okay. So, well, I think I've kept you guys up for long enough. Don't you think?
Barbara's gone live now, so we're just going to go straight into grandma's.
Wow.
For
no sleep for the wicked.
So. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we've got nothing really planned for tomorrow morning, not until lunchtime, Wuthering Heights. So we do get to lie in tomorrow. We're going to go shopping at Aldi on Sunday morning. So.
Yeah, we should do a meetup with a big pineapple. Yeah, that might be funny. Yeah, that would be like so ironic. Yeah, it would be a bit.
Annabella's a Queen Under, wasn't she? I forgot that.
Yeah, DC has rugged good looks. Well, thank you, D. Thank you very much. I'm not sure. I don't know. Rugged. I don't know. The rugged bit. It could be a bit of an insult there. But thanks very much. I appreciate that.
DC, take your shirt off and let's have a look.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't do any of that posing stuff. I don't do any of that posing stuff. So, no, that's all good. Look, thanks guys for joining me. It's been a great chat, and
we have monopolised it, so we'll give somebody else a chance next week. But it's been nice to talk to you again, DC.
Yeah, it's always good to catch up with you guys, and it's I wish you all the best for the weekend. You make sure you get some sleep at least, and we'll talk again soon, eh?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So
thanks everyone. Really appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.